You're live.
Mic check, mic check. Can you all hear us?
It's reversed from how we're sitting. It feels weird.
Yeah, it does.
I know. I was just like, wait a minute, I'm on the wrong side here.
I'm going to punch Russ in the face. How's the sound? How's the audio? We're trying a new setup today.
Yeah.
Oh, they hear you.
They
Tim
hear
Poor
us.
hears us.
All right, we're good then.
How is the video quality? Because we're using our camera, not our webcam on the laptop. It should be crisp.
Should be pure fire. Man, this is testing my old eyes.
What? Trying to read? Stop.
So how many of you guys watched all the videos that we put out today? Because that was more videos than I'd put out in a day before.
It was 2.
Yeah. No, that's one more than I put out in a day.
I don't ever put 2 in a day either. People are, Mike is like, you guys should, I like this multiple videos, you should keep it up. Like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
The other sounds better. That might be.
Everything's perfect. Russ, I see you put the cute guy in the middle. Oh, you got a fan club, Heath.
Oh,
Yeah.
Who's the cute one?
That's me.
Well, I mean, who's saying that?
Robert Daigle.
Nice.
Hold on, the mic adjusting. That's as tall as it goes.
Oh, it's not gonna work.
Just hold it. No, there you go. You're gonna make the camera zoom in on it.
Oh, there. How's that?
That's excellent.
Wait, what if we do this?
Say that isn't Bud Light.
Oh, Russ.
Mine is.
How's that? Does that sound better?
It's on your wiener,
No, it's not.
basically.
Oh, the camera's backwards.
All right.
I think it's fine.
Picture's good, sounds good. We're ready to go.
All
I
right.
think we got the bugs worked out.
We're rolling then. We got the boom mic across your chest, though, crossing out Willie's firewood.
That's all right. For those of you that don't know who I am, I'll introduce myself.
I was going to introduce you once I got the mic
All right.
set up.
All right.
Well, you were.
This is the beautiful Rachel from Hardworking Man. This is Russ from Willie's Firewood, and he did not bring Gramps or Kev.
No,
So you just got the sidekick, Russ.
it's just me.
Oh, thank you, Jack.
Oh,
Thanks, my hair.
thanks, Jack. Nobody ever notices mine. It was a busy couple of days.
Yeah,
What are you running on sleep-wise out of the last, say, 36 hours?
5 hours and 36 hours.
Boom. That's good. That's an average of like
That's solid.
almost 2 hours a day or so.
Yeah, that's absolutely solid.
That's pretty good. Rain this morning for the first couple hours. Then
And then
it turned
snow.
to rainy snow. And then we almost wiped out a few times on the driveway. Almost crashed coming back into the driveway.
Yeah, 'cause now it's ice.
Yeah. Tried to get the new Easton made grapple going, and my connections were saying no. I lost. Well, you guys, Rachel might believe this, but you all probably won't. I couldn't find my thread sealer for the hydraulic connections. And
I can vouch that we couldn't find a lot of things.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Russ was like, hey, where'd you put my mic? I'm pretty sure I set it on your truck seat. We're looking everywhere for it. I gave it back to him. He put it in his pocket. So you put 2 of us together, and it's pure chaos.
I think it rubbed off a little bit. I had a pretty good idea where all my stuff was at the start.
It's contagious, his
It is.
ADHD. Yes.
We
Well,
were
I was
going
gone
all
all
kinds.
day.
Yeah,
So I
Rachel
didn't-
left us to our own
I
devices
didn't have
today.
to be part of any of this, but as soon as I got home, Russ can attest to Heath's
Amazing.
the how much he leans on me to do everything.
he really appreciates
Yeah.
Rachel, I think is what it is. She does a
The
lot of
minute
wonderful things
Right.
for him.
The minute I come home, he's like, Rachel, I need you to do this. I need you to do that. I need you to do this. Do this for me. Do this for me. And make us all dinner.
All right,
So-
hold on. Rachel, plug your ears.
No.
So, guys, if you want to make your woman feel loved and useful, rely on her for everything.
Is that what you think that
Yes.
makes me feel?
Right? No? I thought that was the magic to our
If you
successful
want-
marriage.
If you want your wife to view you as one of the children, come home and demand her to do a lot of things that a good mommy would do.
Do you not
He
love
missed his mommy today.
Do you not love your children unconditionally?
I didn't.
Look at. See?
Oh dear.
I give you the power cord and you just leave it. This is why you need a man.
Gave it to me.
Okay, we're about to lose everybody.
Oh,
Can you read those
Karen would
comments?
punch him in the eye. I can read them.
Can you? Me and Russ
I'm
are
gonna
going
have to use my phone, I guess, because I can't see that far. My eyes are really good, but that computer's a ways away.
Hearth Heaven Firewood says, haha, same here. I think you're talking about us, which I haven't seen you on our live before. So welcome.
Yeah, that's
Russ brought you over.
David Peckham. They have a small firewood operation that they're getting started up and getting ready to go. So
Chris Avila wants to know how the kitchen remodeling's going. Russ can tell you. He's here.
it's the same as my kitchen remodel. It's going.
in process.
Yes, it's going.
And we've added to it. We added a mud room, which is going to be amazing, and a heated garage, which is going to be amazing. Rachel's got a sea container coming from added storage. There's just 100 steel pallets in the front lawn that I just ordered. Man, it's been crazy, pure chaos here lately.
Yeah, I had a long ride out, an uneventful ride, which is good because most times when I take a trip, something falls off, I lose something breaks, whatever, tires especially. But this was a very uneventful trip out, which was nice. I know you guys are all been asking about the musclewood tomorrow
On both channels.
So
yeah, they had to wait for me. I had to be in it. I
Yeah,
can't let you debut
we can't
without
run Russ's
me.
musclewood. With the birch, we could squeak that through without Rachel, but the fastest gas powered log splitter ever made.
Yeah, that's
Well, and I had a hand in
you had a hand in a lot of things probably.
Yeah.
But
So I have to be there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and you guys aren't going to believe what you see. Like, the teaser video doesn't do anything that Bobby and the guys at Allwood.
Derek Stuff wants to know if they're really that cool. If you're talking about Heath and Rachel, yeah, they're pretty cool. If you're talking about the log splitters, they're more than cool.
They're even cooler.
Those are pretty cool too.
I can't get this on my phone because it's my channel.
Oh, do you need to?
Yeah, I can't. I don't want to ignore all the comments.
Rusty Garage wants to know if you know who made the steel pallets that you bought.
I do not. I found them on Facebook Marketplace, and I bought them sight unseen. I was going to go pick them up, and then they got called away on a job. And then I was like, well, what if I buy 100 of them? And we discussed delivery, so I got them delivered. They were from an hour and a half away. And I can try to find out. I don't even know what this company is or factory, where they came from, but I saw them, and I said, I got to have them. And so I bought them. And they're lighter weight. I honestly, we've been so busy, I haven't even taken one off the stack and checked it out. I went and looked at them, and I'm like, they're not as heavy as I thought, but they're still going to work for, the floors. They're not going to rot out, I don't think. They look to be galvanized.
Yeah.
I think they'll work great for bins, for the floors, for the walls, obviously just for putting stuff on and moving.
Kevin's here.
Hey, Kevin.
Kevin message. What's up, little buddy?
Kevin, you don't even know what's coming, Kev.
Yep.
What sound is that? That's that here.
Yeah, Clarence Dobson, you're right. Kevin is definitely going to have to hustle that new splitter. I don't think Kevin's going to keep up with it. But there's some changes with the resplit table and things that might make it a little more doable, all depending while you're running. So
you showed that on your
video.
I showed
it on the video, but until you actually see how we plan on using it, I don't think it really makes as much sense. But that's going to be a really nice addition for sure.
So it's simple little things like that. Like I've said it before, and I said it, I think, in today's video, the competition in the log splitter industry between all the top manufacturers, we're the winner. Us, the consumer, the log splitters, the hardworking men and women of America, and Russ, and then his hardworking Gramps and Kevin. Like, we're all the winners because everyone is trying to improve upon everyone. So, like, say the Easton Made Axis, for instance, and then Wolfridge comes out with the VS17 and they do the pivoting conveyor and a couple different things. Well, then Andrew comes out with the Easton Made Axis SHO, which has more stuff, and just simple little things like on that show, putting the lip on the log lift adds ton. That resplit tray on Russ's musclewood, like, why no one thought of that before?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense.
It makes perfect sense because it doesn't make the whole tray wider. So if you're feeding a conveyor, you need a wider catch for the conveyor. It puts it out of the way, but yet it just It's simple little things that are you're like, why did no one ever think of that before?
See, lots of guys try to run these bigger commercial splitters by themselves. And if you've got a bigger commercial splitter, I don't care who makes it, you can't really run them efficiently with one person.
Kevin says he can keep up with it.
Kevin will try his best. Kevin is awesome. If anybody's going to keep up with it, it's probably going to be Kevin for sure.
Speaking of keeping up with it, do you guys think Russ and I are going to keep up with Rachel when we're running the X's and malls and she's running?
I'm glad that's what we were talking about. We both looked a little nervous. I think so, at least for a minute.
At least for a minute. What engine is on the new Allwood?
The new Allwood is a 38 horsepower fuel injected Kohler.
Well, which Allwood? Are you talking the
new
Birch
one.
or the Musclewood? They're both new.
Oh, they are both.
Yeah,
new.
and if it's the
Derek,
Birch series, then it's a
what
GX Honda.
The GX, it's a 13 horse Honda, I believe, right? GX 390.
Yeah.
On the Birch, and then the 38 horse Kohler fuel injected, right?
Yep.
Controls are right by your operator station. Start,
Mike
throttle.
says I'm gonna win.
There's no choke because it's fuel injected on the new Musclewood.
So Clyde Messenger wants to know if there's a wider catch table available for the Birch. Bobby will build whatever you want. The standard tables that come on them are what's on there right now. But the nice thing about Allwood is if you have something that you really want a certain way, we can build you whatever you need. And Bobby is really, really good about that. Bobby loves custom projects and stuff to a point. I mean, if you want to build him a spaceship that splits wood, then probably not. But if
I don't know, can we talk about some of the custom stuff he's got in the works or no?
Well, I don't see why not. I know one of the guys, and he talks pretty open with me about what he's building. So we've got a great big dual arm box wedge machine that just chews 60 ton, I think it is. So
What they do, the third of a quart of non-splittable wood, and
yeah, so basically they took junk that you wouldn't split through anybody else's splitter at all, and they stuffed it in that box wedge and did a face cord in 8 minutes. So not too bad at all. It's stuff like that. When you get somebody that's willing to put in the extra time to build a machine like that, it makes a big difference to the end consumer for sure.
any processors, their stuff says.
Well,
Russ is working on them. Russ
Right.
wants one.
if they're going to build one, I want one. And that, I guess, can lead me a little bit into what I want to try to do. I want to make a wood splitter park.
And he got permission from Mrs.
I got permission
Russ.
from Mrs. Russ, and that's pretty awesome. Her name is actually Amber. We don't call her Mrs.
No,
Russ.
I was like, what if you called me Mrs. Heath? That would
I
be
didn't know her
awful.
name. I only ever saw her once so I give these guys their
She
first
is
ever
Mrs.
super chat.
Willie, probably. That would be a proper
Listen.
name.
I give them their first ever super chat, and she reached up and canceled me. She shut the whole thing
Well,
down.
she tried to like it, but she didn't realize that
She
you're not
shut it
supposed to
down.
touch the chat. So
She shut it down.
we're going to work on that. We're going to get
She's
better.
So
like-
I'll call her Mrs. Russ if I want to.
Goodbye. Good night.
Amber, are you here? Because you asked about this live.
Yeah, she may be. I don't know.
Is there a
She might not
vertical
get it.
splitter coming? Hi, Tony.
There is a vertical splitter coming, so we're going to be posting a video, or I'm going to be posting a video on that tomorrow. It's going to be called the Ironwood series. The Ironwood series is going to have about 10 to 12 different variations of pumps, motors, and splitters.
Amber's here.
So
Tony,
Amber is here.
the current version of the vertical that he's going to be showing tomorrow is nothing that you or I are going to buy. It is an absolute monster
It
for
is.
legit, I would say either very rich firewood enthusiasts or straight up legit full-time firewood is my
Or-
game.
Yeah,
It is.
it's
Or
not going to be a homeowner machine.
The drug cartels looking to.
Yeah.
You'll know what she's talking about when you see it on
Yeah.
Elsa's channel.
Yeah.
So
Will
It
that
does.
be tomorrow? No, you're debuting the new Musclewood tomorrow. Are you doubling up tomorrow again?
They like the two videos. I got to do what
He's
the
got
people
time
like.
while he's editing to do another one.
I've been waiting.
I got my-
we started editing videos at the same time. I had mine posted for 40 minutes, and he was still trying to figure out his thumbnail. So.
I got tech support back. She left me, yo.
Yeah.
Left me cold, high and dry. I got a new computer to edit on because I burned hers up with all my hotness. Like,
Is that what it is?
it's got to be. Who else gets a computer so hot it burns your lap? Except it happens when I'm up on the screen.
Someone said,
William Klein Allwood builds conveyors already. So we have 4 standard stock sizes of conveyors that they build, and we can also build custom sizes as well. So yeah, the conveyors are definitely something that we do. So yeah.
give a shout out to Big Rich and all of his hockey flow. That's Russ's.
Oh, Rich is
yeah.
in? Rich is in the house, or is that Megan?
No.
Amber?
So
Amber.
Richard's watching
And-
from home with my wife, Amber.
And my girlfriend, Megan. My daughter, I met. I'm bad with names, yo. I'm real bad with names.
Look, I showed up today at the end of a long day of wrestling.
So-
I was at wrestling, and Heath's already a couple beers in. And it
Mike
took
wants
me
to know
5
if
minutes
either
to
of
figure
us
that
have
one
seen the Petrified
I
series
have
in
not.
action.
Have
I
you?
haven't. I've only seen pictures of it, and that thing looks big and massive, and it looks like something that every man should have, but I don't foresee me getting one of those anytime soon.
The ideas Bobby has are insane. Like, he can make them happen, but they're insane. Like, it's next level. And then this is 100% the honest to God truth with that beach. It shocked Bobby. It shocked all of Bobby's guys. It shocked me.
The what?
The birch.
The birch, that's what I
Yeah.
said. I
You
mixed
said-
up.
You
It
said
started with a
beach.
B, ended with an H.
And then with
The birch.
the birch.
So yeah, that birch splitter. Everybody, when I posted that on all the Facebook groups, some of the comments were just absolutely crazy.
Oh,
Lots of people don't understand what a commercial log splitter is or what it's intended for, and it's getting completely redesigned, like you guys saw in the video. So that thing is going to look just like a mini musclewood or a mini oak. It's going to look just like all the other all-wood log splitters, just smaller. And that thing impressed the absolute crap out of me because we put some stuff on there and I was like, it's probably not going to split it, but I want to see if it will do it. We split wood sideways.
oak thing sideways. And there were 2 times, I believe, that it kicked the auto cycle out and I had to hold the levers.
And it just pushed
and
right
it
through.
pushed it through. Like, we put naughty, nasty stuff through.
Hi, Dell.
Dell's here. Dell's got a new grandbaby that's home. That's awesome.
David Peckham, I saw you said you needed a conveyor. So if that's something you're serious and you need that, just give me a shout. We can certainly get you a quote for a conveyor, no problem.
Jack says it looks like you're wearing a seatbelt. That's because you got to
Buckle in.
up.
Yeah.
Buckle up if you're here with the hardworking man.
Got to buckle up around here. You never know what's going to happen.
No. What are your
Gringo
thoughts?
Pines, welcome. Welcome to everybody. I missed a million because our computer's farther away because we got a
They
short
can't
cord
see.
to our camera. And
Greg Popple wants to know how you're liking your Echo Saw.
which one?
Probably the new one.
The new one, I really, really liked it, but it is a mechanical device, and anything mechanical can have issues. And when I was running it the other day, and I thought I dulled the chain because I did. I nicked the bucket, but the chain's not bad. And it went to where it wouldn't pull that chain at all. And I was like, that's odd. And I shut it down, and we went to use it today, and something happened internally. A ring cut or broke, something. But they have a 5-year warranty, and I'm well within it. And that's not a normal thing. So I really was loving that saw. And now I'll get to experience the warranty process and see how
process with Echo
fluid that is. But if you saw the video today, there wasn't a lot, but we showed some cutting. What do you think of the Dino Joe ported CS501P? It's a 50cc Echo.
Yeah, I'm getting one of those.
Dude, Russell's leaning on it. The thing just rips. It weighs nothing, and it rips.
Yeah, for a 50cc saw, that thing was absolutely crazy. I really like that. We're going to get Gramp one of those for sure. Tom Black wants to know when we're going to split some wood. Tomorrow morning, Tom, we are going to try for the fastest cord through the fastest log splitter.
That's ever happened in the world.
So it's going to be something to behold for sure.
How can I buy that hat? What hat? This one? Hardworking Man hat?
Hardworking Man hats are on hardworkingmanoutdoors.com. You can buy them right on there.
Mm-hmm.
And we got shirts, we got stickers.
Oh, yeah.
We don't pump it much.
So
You
we're
know.
going to be splitting ash tomorrow, Britt, through the Allwood. We're going to run a cord of ash. We're going to set it up and run it. I think I'm going to stick the 6-way and just go. I don't think I'm going to worry about swiveling wedges or doing any of that stuff for the time cord. We're going to try to make the best size firewood we can with what we have and just let that Allwood do what it's supposed to do.
We do have though. We're recording more than one video tomorrow, and there will be a different video on his channel than mine. So you're going to want to watch Willie's Firewood and Hardworking Man because even though we're working together, we're not going to post identical videos.
It's a joint collaboration. We want to keep you entertained while giving you other outlets to view.
Like some of them might be the same. Like I want the full cord one, but
Yeah.
we'll have it'll be different angles, different cameras, different You
How,
know,
how long do you think you're going to take to do a full cord?
wait, hold up. Ask these people.
No, someone already said. How? I'm asking you.
And I'm asking them.
I'll make
You got to
my,
flip it back.
I'll make my prediction right now.
I said, you want me to go first?
Go ahead.
I say 12 minutes.
Oh, someone said under 25.
I'm saying 9 minutes flat.
You got, and it's just me and Russ, and we're not.
Is this just you operating it or both?
Russ
of
is
you?
going to be running
It'll
levers.
be both of us.
I'm going to be feeding. And Russ came up with a brilliant idea, which we're not going to tell you. You're going to have to see it tomorrow.
Brilliant.
Because we don't have a conveyor here, so we got to
My
get the
conveyor
wood.
is in works. It is still in pre-construction.
Well, considering that you're an expert in the field of welding
I'm-
technology,
Maybe
you
I
should
she'll
be
do
able to make
it when
that
he
work.
can't sleep this
I'm
during
well-
the night.
Well, I'm working on my workspace in the garage.
Oh, yeah, we have people chiming in.
So yeah, we're gonna shoot for 9 minutes. That's my
Justin
goal.
says 10 minutes. Josh says 12. Logger Jason says 10. Under 25. I mean, that's a safe bet. But
That
you
is a
have to
safe
think
bet.
there could be problems, and we're not fudging anything. We're not cutting tape.
I mean, no
So-
one's just sat and ran a cord through it yet either. That's going to be the first time, right?
Yeah, I haven't run a single stick of wood through this yet. And,
No.
and
Other
I'm
than them
not.
just
I'm not
testing
going
it.
to either.
Nope.
We're gonna start it. We're gonna warm it. We're gonna run.
We're going to warm it up, and we'll pull levers to get the hydraulic fluid going. It won't
That's
be
it.
too temp because there's a lot of fluid. It's cold outside, so it won't be to temp, but it's going to be warmer than 0. So 0 Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit.
If I could get Rachel to do all the work, Derek, I certainly would. But I'm not gonna dilly dally. I've been
What?
waiting for this machine, and I've been waiting for this cord test for a while now. And I'm really.
So
looking forward to it.
Russ has the brand new musclewood. You guys have seen the 2.25 second cycle time. He's been teasing it. So I get the birch home and we get it set up in the wood yard. And I turn and Russ is standing at the levers. I'm like, guess I'm loading. Guess Russ is running.
That's where I'm home. When I'm at home, I run the levers. Kevin feeds it, so I figured I'd
Kevin
just try
now.
it.
Call me Kevin. Someone said earlier
I'm
that
sure
they
you've
think
been called worse than Kevin.
I would. Kevin's not a
just
negative.
today.
Kevin, someone just said Kevin pound for pound is like Don Scheib, but pound for pound probably better.
Yeah, Kevin's like the Wolverine of the firewood community. You don't want to put him in a corner and get with him. He's wiry. He'll surprise
Yeah,
you.
I don't win anything. I get to edit the video is what happens.
You can run
right?
camera. Now Rachel's gonna be
I
running.
said no. I said, what do I win after I beat the both of you?
Look at this dude. This is the prize. I'm in the middle.
I'll get to make us all lunch and edit the video, keep the thumbnail.
I'll give you a hardworking man hat. How about
Yeah.
that? You ain't beating us. I'm a machine. I
You
am
guys
a
will be
machine.
busy talking, Jeff.
Yeah.
You two.
It
They
could
do
be,
like
Jeff.
to talk a lot, Jeff.
No, welcome. John, friggin' Jeep. John, I'm sorry, man. I saw Russ's splitter. You can keep the cup, but you don't have the fastest rig on the planet anymore. Yours is, per your built, you will never be beat. Your splitter will never be beat for when you built that thing and how fast it is and how far ahead of the times it was. But I think the tide has changed, and Russ's machine it's sick. It's like a kinetic, but with 25
25 tons.
which is probably real life more of just pure insanity.
Yeah, it's a machine that's drawn a lot of attention. I've got stops on the way home in North Carolina and a couple other places. North Carolina seems to be the place that
The
everybody's
firewood capital of
most
America.
interested.
Right.
I've got a bunch of people in that area that want to see it. So
Just if you want to add yourself to the list,
Yeah,
find
he's
out
gonna
where
be-
he's stopping
yeah,
and
we'll
get
If you
yourself
live in
there.
North Carolina, Russ will be there.
we'll be in North Carolina. So
Jason, we're gonna get Tuesday, Wednesday. Supposed to be our sub-zero temps here. Kids are all excited. They think they're gonna get snow days. They're already talking about snow days.
Hold up, we got a long comment.
Narrow as the Gate wants to know what the deal with the wedge rising up on the big rounds. It's not the wedge rising up. It's when there's a big knot in there. It looks like the wedge rises up when you see it splitting. The wedge is hooked to a hydraulic cylinder, so it's not going to move.
It moves. I mean, it moves a little. There's a
Yeah.
little play in it, but that's good because it doesn't squeeze the wood.
Jack says you should go live doing that full cord.
Well, it'll
It's
be
tough
early
to
in the
do
morning.
those.
I don't care if you guys want to get up in the morning.
Well,
and you
it's-
want to watch it.
It depends because our service here isn't necessarily always perfect.
Right, our
So we
service
have to be
out
in the right
there
area.
not It can go. It can
So
be
you
fine
got to
out
understand,
there.
guys, where I live in Maine, I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. These guys are way in the middle of nowhere because I was following them home, and I'm like, we're gonna end up in Canada before I even
I'm not-
get somewhere.
I'm not gonna lie. I took a really backwards way because I don't want Russ coming here and stealing my birch and stealing my wood.
Or stealing your lady.
Or Rachel.
I got all the lady I can handle at home. There's no more of those.
No.
Firewood Millionaire, who's been commenting on our videos, and we always appreciate that. Says, can you get a shout out? He's got a new YouTube channel that deals with the business side of firewood, including a price calculator for learning how to price your firewood, which that's cool.
Yeah,
There's a
that's
link.
awesome.
So that's something that a lot of people, I price mine. Well, I used to price mine. I kept going higher until I could keep up, and then I can't keep up anyways, and I can't go higher because I don't feel right about it. So I might have to check that out.
And speaking
Good night,
of
Derek.
that, if you are not already subscribed to Willie's Firewood,
Go subscribe.
go subscribe.
And if you haven't double tapped your screen, or if you're on a phone, I just learned this the other day, you can double tap your screen and give us a thumbs up because that's cool too.
I suppose if you're not subscribed to Hardworking Man, you should do that too.
Brian Shotliff was here, and then he typed something and he deleted it immediately.
Yeah, so the guy that just the guy that got our old splitter on Islesboro Island in Maine said that when we delivered the all wood to him, it turned a lot of heads down there too. So even the used splitters turn heads when they go somewhere. But I got to tell you, when you're towing that bright green one behind you going down the road with all the new additions that Bobby put on that thing will definitely turn heads. I had people looking, they were wondering what I was towing.
I will say too, speaking of selling splitters, there's a lot of people, and I am Jack from Log Cabin Firewood. He likes Dave Ramsey. I am the opposite of Dave Ramsey. Jack wants to pay off debt and be debt free. I say, if I don't have money, but I see something, I'm gonna figure out how to buy it. Like Andrew from Easton Made said, like a crackhead. They wake up in the morning, they go get that
figure out
crack.
a way to get their crack.
I go get that
somewhere
crack.
or another.
I bought my all-wood musclewood. I bought it. Full price, no anything, bought the thing, used it, made a bunch of money off it, and sold it for almost what I bought it for. Russ bought his all-wood musclewood, put 2,500 full cord through it, and sold it for a couple thousand less than what he bought it for. So when you're talking about buying a quality piece of equipment, it's not necessarily an expense, it's an investment. That's what I tell Rachel all the time. You're investing in the future and in your present and in your family and in your life.
That's why I still keep you here. I'm waiting for that investment to pay off someday.
It's gonna one day. When I sell and you have a giant estate sale.
Narrow is the gate. A conveyor for the birch would probably want to be a standalone conveyor. It's a fairly small motor and hydraulic system that's on it. So to add a conveyor to that would probably be too much pull on that engine. So if you wanted a conveyor, I would suggest a standalone conveyor.
Oh, Dave taught your wife you're horrible with money.
Yeah.
I don't let Rachel watch TV or anybody on the internet because
Dave Ramsey's blocked.
What's the welding project? I am going to be welding more because I got my splitter that needs some welding. I've got some other stuff that needs some welding.
That's right, Tony. Tomorrow isn't promised. You got to live while you can.
Oh, Brian's still here. It was an accidental delete.
All right.
Sometimes people just get a little sassy on there and then they decide they better delete it before anybody sees it.
Tony, that's how I roll. Tony says tomorrow isn't promised. You got to live for today.
I just said that.
That's what Rachel just said. I'm also a hearing disabled veteran.
I read it and...
And if I read, I can't listen. I can do one thing at a time. It's usually not focus.
So, Yadkin Valley Outdoors. Good evening. How are you? I saw your message. You interrupted my train of thought, but I still remember what I was going to say.
See, me and Russ are very similar.
Oh.
So I ran the 400C steel today, and for those of you that watch my channel, you guys know I don't run steel saws, but I got to tell you, even with a carbide chain on it, which cuts a little slower, I really like that saw.
That was another Dino Joe. That was from Clyde Messenger, who I think, wasn't he in here?
He is in here.
So that was Clyde's saw. And
that thing was nice.
Dino Joe does good work. And you said Walker.
Yeah.
Walker has impressed you. Like, there's a lot of good builders out there, just like log splitters. There's a lot of good log splitters out there. And not everyone's going to like the same one. And not everyone's going to think this. You know, someone asked me the other day, how come you think everything you own is the best? I'm like, I don't. I think my wife's the best. I think some of the stuff I own is the best. But if I tell you about something and I'm like, this is the best, it's because I've used it and it's the best I've ever used. And I'm sharing it with people to help them. But I use a lot of stuff I don't think is the best, because otherwise I would have to come on the channel and say, this shirt I'm wearing is the best. It's the most comfortable I've ever worn. And these jeans, they're amazing. They're this, everything I own isn't the best. But when I tell you about certain stuff,
Well, we're not going to make a video about something that sucks.
right?
So.
I try to be a
Not
positive
full
channel.
Video.
I try to be a
Well, you
positive
did about
channel. But
lawnmower,
who's going to watch a video if you're like, hey, I got this new tool? It's okay.
Yeah, you don't want to buy this. I just want to let you know.
it's mid.
So
Like,
Rusty's Garage and Homestead, the dual arm splitter is a custom build. So that wasn't based off of any one of the actual platforms. That's a total custom build. So that was something that was dreamed up, and Bobby built it for the customer. And it's been a project that's been a pretty good project in the works, but it's just about wrapped up and ready to head home now.
Mount Tammany, nobody blocked you from. Are you talking about on our channel or in this live? Because I haven't done either. If anyone's going to block you on anything, it'll be me.
Yeah, no, I see your comment, Mount Tammany.
I mean, I see you, but
I talked about your welding project. I asked what it was.
Are we going to Bangor?
Timon, get out of here. Someone kick Timon out of the.
When is that?
Go Commanders. Get out of here.
May 16th and 17th.
I root for your Bucks for you, Timon, because I like you. I hate the Bucks. The only thing I like about Ohio is Timon and deer hunting. And he says, go Commanders. Come on, man. Go Lions.
Go Commanders.
Yeah.
How dare you?
Come on, Timon. How many of our giveaways have you won? He's
Listen.
got an Aurora heated vest. He's got,
We've
I
given
think,
you
some
way too
Brock
much.
boots. Come on, Timon.
Come on. Go Lions.
I know you won't give me a go blue. You got to give me a go Lions. You ain't a Commanders fan.
The Lions season makes me get a little what is that when you're almost gonna cry?
Choked up.
The Lions.
Kind of choked up.
The Lions. I like how they're rolling.
Anyway.
It is so cool to me. I just love it.
Oh.
I don't know if we're gonna go. Probably not. May 16. I don't know what's going on.
So I think the plan right now for Allwood is, if any of you guys want to see any of these machines, we are going to do the International Firewood Expo with Ohio Wood Burner, and that's the very first weekend of May, the weekend before Mother's Day. So I think it's 2nd and 3rd.
Okay.
So we'll be down there, Ohio Wood Burner's International Firewood Expo. That's going to be at the fairgrounds this year because he grew out of his old place. So that'll be a much bigger venue this year. So we're looking forward to bringing some stuff down there, and hopefully we'll have some new machines to unveil as well.
Yeah, I just went back through the chat and I don't see the welding answers. He said they didn't come up. He tried to reply to my question. So I see that you said you tried to answer and it wouldn't come up, but they're not there. I see you said, Phil, how you doing?
I think we might be too, Phil, because I don't think I booked my room yet. So if it's sold out already, I guess I'm going to have to sleep on the ground too.
Hold up. When are we going to sleep?
sold
We don't
out.
need to sleep. We can just have a fire and drink.
At Bunyan.
Yeah. We just have a fire, drink, and Amber is going to be bringing IVs.
So-
you don't even got to sleep.
Yeah. So
Tell her to bring you a wake pack and a hydration pack.
Hey, Hugs Log.
Show up on Wednesday, leave on Sunday, and you'll feel great.
Yeah. So any of you guys that are going to party a little too hard while you're at Bunyan, my wife has a health and wellness clinic, and she does IV hydration therapy. She'll hook you guys right up. So if
Jennings
you drink
bringing
too much,
tents.
I
Jennings
love
bringing
camping.
tents.
I will say,
Are you bringing
My
your
wife does not camp.
Alec?
so I love camping.
Oh, she won't tent?
Have we told our
No.
camping story before?
No.
I'm sure you've told plenty of camping stories.
I'm a camper. I love camping. I have a really nice tent, Kodiak canvas. It's amazing. But I made a huge mistake camping once. My kid had a baseball tournament in Missouri, and everyone's getting these Airbnbs for what?
At golf courses.
How many $1,000?
And Heath is like, oh, no, never.
We're camping. Who cares if it only gets down to 100 degrees at night? We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
It was bad.
Oh my gosh. I literally at one point, I walked into the shower on full cold wearing all of my clothes, my shoes, everything, and just walked back to the tent dripping wet.
Yeah.
Miserable. It was an absolute fail. I thought I beat the heat of the summer because I brought one of those standalone air conditioners. And I'm like, I'm just going to put this in our tent. It's going to be amazing. Put the vent outside. one thing I forgot is that to make cold air and blow the hot air out, it needs to suck air in, and it just literally collapsed our walls of our tent. Like it stayed standing, but it was sucking 120-degree heat in to try to cool it to kick it back out. It doesn't work. Don't do it.
Lucker Jason's gonna put his rooms
I
up
saw
for
that
bid.
too. Yeah.
And then he'll
So
bring
the,
his camper.
the Fairfield is sold out for Bunyan next year
That's
already.
what they
We
said.
got a
Been
room.
confirmed. Well, I did not yet, so that
You didn't?
no, that's all right.
You gotta get it.
I'll sleep in somebody's bathtub. It'll be all right.
Yeah.
We are renting now space in the
No, we're
hardworking
not.
man room.
I need a lot of space. There's no room for extras.
Phil,
Yes, Sherman
Phil.
Lawn Care. You can camp on site at the International Firewood Expo.
and there's some cool campgrounds around there. There's actually a campground down the road from the Fairfield, if I'm not mistaken.
we're talking about the
They're
International
talking
Firewood
about
Expo
Joe's
in May.
thing.
Yeah, you can camp there too.
There are campgrounds around. There's somebody who we met at Hoosier who has a campground. Well, it's like an hour from Fairfield, so never mind.
That
Oh no,
would
no. Are you
be-
talking about the glamping? It's like the
Well, no,
like
right
the
down the road
A-frame-
from the
Oh yeah, I
Fairfield
saw
Inn, there's
those.
a campground.
Yeah, those are pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's like the A-frame camp thing.
No, I'm
on
saying
a
if
lake.
there's a sign right down the road
I
from the
would
Fairfield
love
Inn, there's
if
a
we could
campground.
like get a group to get those.
That would be fun.
That would be
Yeah,
fun.
but then you got the live. That's the big draw.
Well, then you just get an Uber to bring you to and from for the live.
I don't think
Yeah.
they have Ubers there.
Well, it's a,
Maybe we
it's a
could-
horse and buggy.
And I was gonna say
An
the
Amish Uber.
Amish. How are we gonna call them?
Oh, this is going to be a problem.
Phil, I was saying before these two rudely
We have to-
interrupted
We
me,
have to work those logistics out a little bit.
you like speed, you like the risk of losing fingers. You're gonna have to go see this thing, man.
Yeah.
It's as fast. It's close to or as fast as Buster, but you can throw a 6 probably or an 8-way on there and keep that speed through the wood. I think.
6-way, no problem.
I mean, this is all speculation because literally, honest to God, we haven't run a
Yeah.
stick through. We haven't even started it.
With the way it's spec'd out, a 6-way should be no problem with whatever you're going to run for wood. 8-way and up, depending on what you're running for wood, then you're going to maybe start kicking down into the second stage and slowing down a little bit, but it's going to be.
How does
crazy.
Bobby offer that muscle wood with a bigger cylinder, so it might be a touch slower but more powerful?
Yep. So you can get the muscle wood with a bigger cylinder and go to a 30-ton. The 30-ton, an 8-way, or even a 16-way, depending on if it's straight clean wood. You can go from mild to wild. I mean, the sky's the limit. Whatever you guys want, we can make it happen.
Because that's gonna be fast still if he does that.
Are any Allwoods coming
Well,
to the Hoosier Hysteria? in
If
April?
Heath is not going to bring his birch down, then I'll probably have to pull the musclewood down from Maine because I want to try to make it to all of these places so everybody can see these Allwood splitters. These new Allwoods are worth the look for sure.
So here's the thing with Hoosier Firewood Hysteria. Rachel will be out of country with my third oldest child,
Nathan's senior trip.
his senior trip. Because, like in our town, a lot of the seniors on spring break, they all go somewhere into a destination or whatever. Well, my oldest boy, I thought I hit the jackpot with this because he goes, "Hey, Dad, instead of going to like Florida or to Cancun or whatever, could we go on a hunting trip?" And I'm like, "I got 3 boys. I got 1 girl. Hell yeah, we can go on a hunting trip instead of spring
He's thinking
break."
he's getting 3.
So I'm like,
hunting
that's
trips.
3-1. So me and Joe went to Montana, mule deer hunting, had a blast. Both got nice mule deer bucks. Then my daughter comes along. Obviously, I'm not playing. I'm lose that one. Rachel and Megan went to Hawaii.
Mhm.
I'm like, all right, Nate, where are we going? He's like,
Italy.
Italy. Like, Italy.
He just wants to go eat his way through the country.
So Rachel
That's a
and
good
Nate
place
are
to
now
go
going
if
to
you do
Italy.
that.
So now I'm behind 2-1 with 1 kid left.
Well, you know where Zach wants to go?
He wants to go to like
Sweden.
Sweden moose hunting. Sorry, don't know how much that costs, but I don't have that much.
Meanwhile, Joe is still like, I just got mule deer. Like, you kids are.
Like, you picked first, bro. You picked
Exactly.
low. You shot low.
So for anybody that was concerned about me, my wife said she'll be my DD and I'll still be able
Yeah.
to get to the Fairfield. So we're good for the live.
We're
She'll
good.
be the DD.
The
Might
live,
have
you
to-
got to be at the live. It's
Yeah.
half of the
You
show.
might have to borrow the Hardworking Man tour van to cart people back and forth.
Well, there you go.
Hardworking Man.
Huh?
We got the Hardworking Man tour van. It doesn't get stuck easy.
Do we? Does that mean Heath can go on the out of town rules for the hysteria?
Well, I'm gonna. So the thing is, one, I don't know my work schedule because I haven't looked at it, and 2, I'm gonna have my son, my youngest son Zach, And I was like, hey, you ready for a Hoosier? And he didn't jump up and down. So
He
I'm
wasn't
not
as
sure.
excited as I am.
He was
for
thinking
Hoosier.
Florida or something. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's awesome, David Peckham. It's always good to have the little kids climbing all over the machines and stuff. They always look at those great big machines and they're in awe of them just as much as we are sometimes, but all for different reasons.
Are you going to go to Wisconsin at the end of May?
I don't know. May is going to be extremely busy because I have the International Firewood Expo the first weekend of May. The weekend after is Mother's Day. The weekend after that is the Forestry Expo in Bangor. And then the weekend after that would be yours out in Wisconsin, Jason. And I've got firewood orders that have to get done in the meantime. So I'm not sure. May could be really busy. I'm trying to see if I can get everything ironed out and maybe split ahead, especially where this new splitter is faster. But it's all going to be determined as we get closer.
Speaking of firewood orders, you split 4-cord by hand before you left. How long did that last you, Kevin?
Not very. It's out.
Russ is sending customers to the competition just to hang out with hardworking man. That's how cool we really are.
I
What?
said that?
No, because someone asked earlier how cool are we really to hang out with, and I said he's here hanging out with us instead of getting home making firewood. So you're sending them to the
Well, I
competition.
just knew that you had that great big pile of oak out there that you hadn't done anything with yet, and I wanted to be able to have
because
some
I bought it
on
for
my
the
splitter.
processor, and it's not exactly super.
No, that's not
processor
processor
friendly.
food at all.
But that ash I got is pure fire.
Yeah,
That's what we're going to be running some of tomorrow. Yeah, you got plenty of time with that fast splitter.
Yeah, I would think so too, David, for sure.
Tony says we're pretty cool to hang out with. We missed you and your wife at Bunyan last year, Tony. Are you going to come?
Clyde
This
Messenger,
year?
I don't know if it's a professional opinion on that 400C or not, but I can tell you right now I've run a lot of saws and there is not a thing wrong with that. I'd be more than happy to run that any day.
But he did have to tighten up your bar nuts.
Yeah, I think you might have put that chain on new for us, and I appreciate that, but the bar nuts were loose. And luckily Heath caught it while he was sitting on
I was up
backhoe.
there. I'm actually quickly becoming a very seasoned operator on the backhoe. And I was sitting up there, and I saw that one bar nut was a little loose. And so I was like, Russ, bar nut. But luckily they're captive nuts, so that's good.
TC Outdoors, I'm pretty sure that there's a hotel right across the street from the Fairfield on the other side of the main drag right there.
I mean, there's a lot of them right there. I feel like there's
and I know I stayed in one that was like 15 or 20 minutes away last year that was pretty nice too, and it wasn't bad price. So
the people are going to cancel because not everyone is probably there for, it's a high percentage, but I don't know if you can get on a wait list, or if you're trying to book through the hotel or an app, maybe try something else, because sometimes you can get a room when places are sold out. So
Kevin
don't give
said
up yet.
The wood didn't last long at all.
No, that's what Amber said.
Yeah.
Oh. What, Rach?
What? Any chance he can get to make a joke?
We made some good jokes today.
Oh, that was a joke? Oh,
he was reading. He misses my jokes, and they're really funny.
I had a really good joke too, and he ignored it.
When he's reading, he's like me. If he's reading, he doesn't hear the joke. Because Rachel said a really funny joke earlier, and he didn't hear it. And I'm like, how the heck did Russ not laugh at that? And then I was like, Russ, did you hear that? And he's like, hear what? And I told him, and he's like, ah! I'm like, see, you didn't hear it.
That's what it's like dealing with you. The kids are always so irritated.
I said we're very similar. Right?
I know.
I think a lot of people in firewood have ADHD. It's why that's why we don't stop working.
It keeps you doing something different all the time, so you're not strapped to one particular thing, which is very helpful.
And we were talking who was I talking with? It was about, actually someone I work with. I said, and Rachel will vouch for this, I don't vacation well. I do not vacation well, because if I'm on vacation, I'm thinking if I was at home, I could be doing this, I could be doing, and you might think I don't ever get anything done because I don't. But it's not for the lack of trying. I have 3 billion projects going on. But when I'm on vacation, it's supposed to be relaxing and enjoying life. All I can think about, if I was at home, I could be working on the conveyor. I could be working on my truck. I could be splitting firewood. I could be mowing the lawn. I could be doing this. But then the guy I was talking to, he's like, when I go on a hunting trip out of town, I don't think about any of that. And he's like, it's the only way I can relax. And I thought, you know what? That is true, because when me and Joe went to Montana, because I was busy doing stuff, I didn't think about what I could be doing at home. So I need more out-of-state hunting trips.
Jack says you just need Adderall.
Yeah.
Sounds boring, Jack.
Yeah,
Sounds boring.
probably.
So Mike wants to know how much wood we're going to split by hand while Rachel's running the birch.
All of it until we die.
So Mike, the goal is
That's
to
not
try
an
and stay
answer.
ahead of her. So we're just going to go until we can't anymore, and then we're going to show you where the threshold is between
A splitter
Two
and two machines.
aging men
Oh, I call us machines.
and a machine, because she's going to have the machine. And yeah,
I
it's going to
will.
be
So
interesting.
there's going
Amber's
to
a
be.
vacation expert.
We're going to have to set
Yeah, me
parameters.
too.
So the wood that we split is going to have to be, because this is a difference. This is,
Hi, Larry and Robin.
if you're talking about splitting firewood, it's talking about sellable wood. So we're going to have to make the pieces into the size that we would sell.
Yeah.
Hey,
So we
Jeremiah.
can't just split a block in half and call it split. We're going to have to then set it
Hi,
back up
Jack.
and split it again until it's, so I think we'll have a lead initially, but I think having to split it into the size that we need, and if we hit trouble pieces,
Right.
we can't just quit, because you don't just quit on a splitter. It just goes through.
I had a trouble piece the other day, and I worked at it, and I'm sure Kevin could probably attest if he's still there. I was almost ready to give up, and then I finally got it to bust free, and that was really, really nice.
Yes, they were rubbing together today out in the wood yard, Amber. So I think they're good.
I like how she's got all these jokes when I'm away, but when I'm home and I have these jokes, it's not funny.
She rolls your eyes,
I
probably.
know,
She's
yeah,
like,
pretty
"Oh."
much. How's that work anyway?
Where is this? I don't see this.
Look under 207 Wellness. That's her.
Okay.
We're gonna go vacation.
Yeah, they're gonna go vacation, and we're gonna stay in
Amber says she's funny all the time.
Yeah,
He
I-
doesn't know because his head's in his phone.
Amber, I
know.
also am funny all the time.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't even hear it.
Dick from Old Guy Firewood is here.
Evening,
I don't
Rick.
know
Good
if he
to see
has
you.
been.
I already said
Larry
that.
and Robin. Did you say hi to them already?
I did in the middle of your talking. We haven't said hi to Joe.
Okay, I need to
JPF.
know. Joe's here. He's like, do you guys know the Lions game's on tonight?
Yeah, we do.
Rick
14
Rick,
minutes.
Rick.
Counting down.
Rick from Living the Dream.
He's the
And-
detective.
But who
He
was
is
the
a
other one? There was
detective.
another one who straight busted it wide open. And I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I can't remember what they
Was
saw
it
the van.
Tony?
Oh,
I
that's
think
No,
so.
the flannel.
Monday.
Oh, the flannel. Yeah, that was.
Who
Why
was
don't you-
It
that?
was the other guy with the Allwood. I can't remember now.
What?
So our about what we're getting and stuff.
Oh,
Our
yeah,
video.
no.
They said you're 100% getting an all wood. That was Bobby's flannel. And
Oh,
then
I
Rick from Living the Dream, he cracked the case immediately, like within seconds of our videos going live. He's like, hardworking man in the back, Rachel in her bear fur coat, like.
Okay, so Heath Slowden, I don't know if you said it or not yet, but did you wish Dick a happy birthday?
Well,
Today is
I
Dick's
did. I
happy
just
birthday.
said happy birthday. I think Heath should sing to him.
Oh,
Happy
dear.
birthday, Dick.
Enjoy your vodka.
he's a handling.
Say hi to your family for us.
People don't know what we're talking about.
what's the weather looking like in North Carolina for Monday afternoon?
Splitter
Brett?
sales? It's looking like it's going to be raining all woods from the sound of it.
Well, that's what I'm hoping, but I'm hoping I don't have to go play in the rain.
The rain sucked this morning.
Yeah, it was no good.
We were up at what, 6?
6, yeah.
And get out. Luckily, I was in the garage working a little bit because I got a little bit of heat out there, and I still can't really work because it's a mess. But I'm starting to evict some collections, and the rain we were like sitting there. Yesterday, all we needed was light, and today all we needed was not rain, because you can't really film in the rain.
Right.
It's not. We were out working before it was done raining, prepping, but then we're soaking wet. Your hands get cold. We're slipping on the rain-covered ice.
I mean, it's North Carolina is going to suck for North Carolina people,
Oh,
but it'll
we got
be
a
like
super chat right there.
nothing
Firewood
bad for
Millionaire.
us.
Appreciate
Cheers.
it. Cheers. And I actually need another drink. So,
Yeah, me too.
Me
You
too.
do
I'll
that.
get you.
all right. Thank you. We do appreciate those. And we kick a lot of that back into the channel. If you watched our earlier videos here on Hardworking Man, our audio was brutal. And I have gone through mics. I'm not a technology guy, but like this is, that stuff all helps. And we greatly appreciate it because we are trying to continually advance our production quality, I guess you could say. But at the same time, we're just real people. We're not video production people. We're just, And then Russ is out just working.
That's where
like,
I have a hard time with that whole thing because
It's
production
hard.
quality is probably not going to happen from me.
Production quality is a killer of work efficiency.
It is, and like Heath has boys that are
I have a
teenagers, and
team.
they're very helpful. I have an 8-year-old son, Richard, who
With a
thinks
sick flow.
who thinks he has every great idea under the sun, but what we're trying to do. So until he gets a little older and wants to be a little more helpful, the production quality will probably stay the same with me because Gramp and Kevin, they want to work. And when Kevin runs the camera, sometimes he gets a little carried away and we end up upside down or whatever. And it makes for creative videos. But
Kevin, that's called the vortex. Our new gimbal actually has that on it. It's when you're walking and the camera is spinning it. Tell Russ that's a video effect.
Jack, I
free
think
added
even
feature.
audio normalization.
We do that. Yes, Jack did. And that has been a great tool.
Have a good weekend, Dick. Happy birthday again,
Happy
buddy.
birthday and thanks for stopping by. Yes, we use that now and it has been amazing. But you can't audio normalize when you don't have audio because your mic's failed. Because it is still, whether you normalize it or not, when you don't have any sound, it's gone.
Which is so heartbreaking when you go back to upload your
Whichever
footage.
YouTuber knows, if
Yeah,
a lot of times if you're watching a video and the whole thing is music or voiced over, they lost audio.
Well, we're going to have a little bit of voiceover tomorrow because when I was checking out the new Ironwood vertical splitter, Bobby had his mic. I had a mic on my sweatshirt that I took off. So when I went over, I didn't have a mic. So you can hear Bobby, but you can't hear me. So I'm going to audio over what I was supposedly saying.
All right, let's see these editing skills, Russ.
No
You're
problem.
making fun of me. Let's
No
erase
problem.
this one.
No problem.
What do you edit with on your phone? What
I use
program?
iMovie.
Oh.
Everything I do is right off my phone through
Yeah, we've
iMovie.
never
There's
done
no
iMovie.
expensive cameras, no nothing. It's quick, it's easy, it
But like,
works.
how do you
I
get
love
your
it.
dopamine fix? By buying more things?
I hate spending money.
Russ don't like spending money.
No. My wife will tell you that I don't spend money and she spends all the
He's
money.
all mad because Amber bought
Is
him a
this
pair of
true,
brown
Amber?
boots.
Yeah, I would not buy run
He
boots
said
for
he'd be-
myself.
He said he'd be here barefoot if it weren't for Christmas.
Yeah.
Walmart boots are just fine for me. I don't need anything, but I do like them. They're very comfy. Thank you, honey.
Thank you. The older I get, the more I appreciate nice things.
Yeah, it's true. You get what you pay for.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of goes along with anything. We were kind of talking about that even with log splitters today.
Mm-hmm.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah,
You
that's
do.
what I said when
Well,
we were at the.
Not always.
Well,
A lot of times
you
get
should
what
get
pay
what you
for.
pay
You
for.
should.
But a lot of it, I tell everybody, even if somebody comes and sees me, don't just take my word for it. Go ask other people. If you start asking around, it's not going to take long for you to figure out which machines are doing what they need to do and which ones aren't.
Didn't Tim? Didn't you just recently pick up an Allwood? Tim Poor. He
Yeah.
says that vertical splitter is an absolute
Yeah.
beast, so he must have been there.
Tim Poor is the one that bought the boxwood bloodwood that we just sold, the box wedge bloodwood. And Tim had some splitters from some other manufacturers, and he got the new Allwood, and he said he wished that he had known we were around a few years ago because I'm telling you guys, they're built different. It's not the same. It's not apples to apples, and that's what I try to tell everybody when they call and they say, well, my friend has this splitter, and my friend has that splitter. It doesn't really matter.
I think maybe my favorite was, because anyone who knows Bobby has a lot of pride. Bobby built a great machine. The comment that someone made looks like a cheap copy of a Rugged Made. Almost. I was like, tell me you don't know what you're talking about without telling me you don't know what you're talking about. And if you're in here, I'll call you out. You don't know what you're talking about. Because there is no, AR400 steel in a Rugged Made. It's called not real steel. And I mean, Rugged Made, don't get me wrong. If you run a Rugged Made, they can make wood. But don't compare it to an American-made, American steel product because it's not the same. Like, it's just not. Like, I don't talk bad about much, and I'm not talking bad about Rugged Made, but to call an Allwood a cheap copy of it tells me you have no idea what you're talking about.
All the wear surfaces on the Allwoods are made out of 404. So you're using wear-resistant steel. So you don't have any wear components. We're not using Teflon slides or brass slides on our split rams or our split beams, any of that stuff.
This is for Hearth Heaven Firewood. I literally will do my laundry based on if my Camel City Mill socks are available or not. I am a sock connoisseur, and I had what I thought was good socks. This is what you were just sort of talking about. You don't know what you're missing until you try it. These Camel City Mills, I could care less if you buy them through my link or not. I'd appreciate it because I do make a couple bucks.
Rachel, Mike Sherman's the guy I was telling you about that hurt himself at work. You don't want his ice bath. He's going to ice bath because he's in pain. So.
But these socks
all about your issue
are literally and on an other note, the Camel City Mill socks are legit, and Rachel will vouch for them. And I believe old Dick, he's gone. They're legit, and they have a 10-year durability warranty, which I haven't had to try yet. But they are literally the most comfortable sock I've ever worn. Like when I get home, I work 12-hour shifts a lot, and on my feet, boots, whatever. And when I get home with other socks on, I can't wait to change them. And it's weird because you don't think about it. When I have the Camel City Mill socks on, I literally
Bobby's watching you.
I'll get in bed and I'll say, "Oh my gosh, I've had these socks on for 20 hours and I don't care to take them off, but I'm like not like I can't wait to take them off." Bobby's here.
Yeah, Bobby said maybe the guys don't know what they're doing, Heath. I heard that they're copying Chinese splitters too. I think he's referring to some of the other comments that we got on the little teaser post that we put out.
I could not help
a lot of times I leave it alone because
I was firing. Yeah. I was shooting back at them.
I learned a long time ago that you can't convince an idiot that they're stupid. So
I'm not stupid.
When I see things like that, I just ignore it and I keep talking. So anyway, I'll leave it alone. All you got to do is come see one of these machines or see any of these commercial machines when you're looking at them, and it's gonna point you in the direction.
That is blasphemy, Little's Lawn Care.
Jerry Ray says those socks are made right in North Carolina, where you're going to be. You could visit the Camel City Mill.
I can get socks and cell splitters.
You read that, Jason? So Little's Lawn Care.
Let me see. Justin.
Oh, it looks a lot like a Wolfridge. Yeah, Little's Lawn Care. There is nothing that looks like a Wolfridge on a.
They're a horizontal splitter.
Yeah, that's about
it. They got wedges and rams. So I'm not talking bad about Wolfridge either, but Bobby has been building splitters. Like Bobby Allwood isn't new to the game, just because a lot of people
to the show circuit because they didn't
haven't heard about them. Before. When I found Allwood log splitters, I found them on accident. I'm not gonna lie.
Me too.
I was looking for an Wolfridge or an Easton made. I was figuring out which one to buy. That's what everyone was doing. They were the two big fish in the sea. And then I was like, I want to find a used.
Here, do you want this?
No. Oh, my coffee. Yes, I do. I made this a couple hours ago. Thank you. But I'm like, if I can find a used
splitter. This is
splitter,
part of the ADHD right here. Coffee, beer, both of them going.
I was like, if I can find a used log. So I went to eBay, which used to be great, and it's gone downhill. But my son has some kids over for the Lions game. Timon, I still haven't got the Go Lions yet. I'll give you a Go Bucks if you give me a Go Lions, but Go Commanders ain't going to work, bro. But anyway, what was I saying? This is another part of the ADHD.
You found all it on eBay.
Okay, I looked on eBay for used log splitters, trying to get a deal instead of ordering a new one. No wait time, better price, whatever. Found Allwood, looked them up. What's this? Went visited. Bobby's been building splitters for close to 20 years. Yep. Wolfridge hasn't been. Andrew from Easton Made hasn't been. I love Andrew. Me and Andrew are good friends. I'm just speaking the truth. So when you think, if I haven't heard of Allwood, he doesn't know he knows what he's doing. He's been in this game as longer than anyone, and he built a quality machine. It's not a cheap copy of anything. He doesn't copy anybody. I mean, obviously everyone gets ideas and changes them and adapts them, but he's not like, oh, let me go look at this and try to copy it.
So Rusty Garage and Homestead, yes, Bobby knows his comments are turned off, and that's because he doesn't want to have to go back and forth with some of these people that think he's making the Chinese knockoff copies and other things. But we're going to do a live with Bobby at some point, either on my channel or with Heath and Rachel, and we'll get all this stuff straightened out because he wants to answer a bunch of questions and things that come up. So we'll see if we can get Bobby on camera sometime and have a little Q&A with the builder from Allwood.
Bobby just commented, and I will say, Bobby, so everyone's a little different. I can run a chainsaw, and I'm not a professional chainsaw sawyer. So when I run a chainsaw and people tell me what I'm doing wrong and how to do it, I'm like, okay, Bobby knows hydraulics amazingly. And so he, one, doesn't have the time, because would you rather have him answering YouTube comments or building log splitters
Building
and designing
badass
the next
machines.
log splitter, or arguing with Jim Bob, who's sitting in his mom's basement saying, "Mom, meatloaf," and telling him he doesn't know anything about hydraulics. So
Sounds good.
he's not.
Yeah,
I've
this is
heard
very
people.
specific.
Yeah.
I've heard people say like, "Oh, he turns his comments off. What's he hiding? He's not hiding
He
anything."
said I've never turned him on. He just
Yeah,
has
he
had
ain't
him
playing
on.
games. Joe would know. Bobby don't play games.
Sorry, Tim. Those dogs. It's because these teenage boys are showing up to watch the game. They're gonna bark again. I'm
Jeremiah,
sorry.
appreciate it. Jeremiah, Jeremiah won an S-wing splitting mall, so I can either bring that to one of these shows we're both going to be at, or I can ship it to you, or you can hop in the car right now when you can shoot up and you can join Team Russ and Team Heath and try to beat Rachel. We'll put 3 against 1.
Right?
Jeremiah, I'm just saying you might
I
want to
know.
come help us.
Clyde's pretty bummed. He can't bring his locust over here.
Clyde's got an Allwood locust. He came and Clyde is an awesome person. So Clyde Messenger, I met him. He was going to buy a new log splitter. I had my buddy's Wolf Ridge in the yard. He came and he checked it out. I was like, you should check out Allwood. He went, he drove down, he met Bobby, he looked at his machines, talked to him, ordered one that day, and he has nothing but good things to say about it ever since. And Clyde has helped me out immensely. He has brought me awesome pallets. He has shared knowledge with me. He has helped us out. Like, Clyde's one of those guys that everyone should have a Clyde. So we appreciate you, Clyde.
Yeah, and that's just part of the Woodhound community. I think
There
was
is a lot
talking
of
to you
people
about
like
that.
that.
I've got people that, since I've started my channel, I'm small in regards to Heath and Rachel. We're growing quick, but I've got people that will text me on a daily basis and just say, "Hey, just wanted to let you know you guys are doing a great job. Keep it up. We look forward to the videos every day." Or, you know, I've got one guy, he calls a couple times a week just to check in. How's everything going? Anything going on?
We started at 7, Ken.
That you need something with, you know, anything I can help you with. And it's like, you know, you don't get that from other places, because I've worked other forms of business. I used to do lawn care, landscaping, and earthwork.
Don't mess with people in their mower brands. Good
Don't mess
night.
with people in their lawns.
Ooh.
It's nasty. It's bad. But all these guys that work firewood, you ask them a question, "Hey, you know, I need a hand with this," or I got a question about this. I've never heard anybody say get lost or no. They're like, "Yeah, sure. What do you want to know?"
Right.
Well, like that tree I just felled the other day, the death tree, the hollowed out basswood leaning towards the car. And now, anyone who watched that video, the video did not do that tree justice. It was leaning hard in the complete wrong direction towards our power lines. So the video, people, oh, that tree was bad. And then it was hollow. And Logger Jason's like, if you need a hand, I'll come help you. That's what this community's about. He couldn't make it immediately, and I don't wait. I'm spontaneous. I'm let's go, let's get it. And I like taking chances. We're all gonna die. Like if it goes down like that, and Rachel.
Heath has a lot of ideas for videos.
Oh, I
and
got
he
one.
goes-
Every single person in my family said you'll die.
He says,
I don't
"This
think
will
I
be a
will.
great video as long as I don't die." And
I
that's
don't think I
seriously
will.
how he presents it to me. And then we all talk amongst ourselves and figure out how to make it not kill him. And then he's like, "Oh, okay, I didn't think of that."
Yeah, my latest idea I think is great. It's
I know.
Evil Knievel-ish.
Somebody's bothered. They said their daughter's like, "Is
What's
it coffee?
It's a coffee
or
or
beer?" That's
Both.
a coffee
This is
and a beer.
This is Robert Daigle.
Oh,
Cheers
Robert
and
Daigle,
thank you. Much
cheers.
appreciated.
Are you gonna choose your coffee too?
So this is called Russ and I have not slept barely at all in the last few days. And this is called it's
Hoping
a
to
live
save.
stream and the Lions are about to destroy the
So he's got his
Washington
deep
Commanders.
light.
And I made this a couple hours ago in all honesty.
You did.
And I forgot that I made it. And my lovely wife just brought it to me.
I just found it.
So we talked about it earlier, and we got some ADHD stuff going on. We got really turned around, sidetracked, but I was talking about a splitter park, and I never got there because
yeah.
That was
something happened.
about 45 minutes ago.
Russ is
Yeah.
building it. It sounds like you have to make a camping part of it too.
Well, what my whole thing is I want to have an interactive log splitter dealership. So I want to be able to have you come up, put your hands on whatever model of log splitter we sell
I
in
thought you
some
was
form
gonna
or
say
fashion,
wood.
and let you put your hands all over the firewood
He'll let you
too,
put your hands all over him.
But
Don't worry.
to try out all the models, because I think the biggest thing that I had an issue with when I was getting ready is to purchase my first commercial splitter was I wanted one, but I didn't know what I really wanted. So I said, I'm just going to buy the biggest one I can afford. And I didn't necessarily need that. And if you don't need to spend that money now and you can get something that'll work, or if there's something that's better, if you have the availability to try them, I think that's going to be the way to do it. So my thought process is we're going to have them. They'll be all demo units that are sitting there, whatever we have, whatever's in the yard you can run. You can either buy that one at a little bit of a discounted rate because it's got a few hours on it, or order you a brand new one of the same thing. But it gives you the opportunity to use those machines.
See, and that's a lot of why I went into YouTube. There were a few different reasons, but one was my kids, and two was I was helped so much by people on YouTube. But when I started splitter shopping, where do you go to find information on stuff like log splitters? You can't just go to the store and look at 10 different log splitters. You either go to one of the firewood shows, which are a handful a year, and you usually got to travel.
You got to fight
Or
the crowds.
You go to YouTube and you watch people with splitters. Now, there's a lot of good channels out there, but there's a lot of channels that will tell you this is good because it's what I have. That's why I try to run everything. I've run Wolf Ridge, I've run Hyper Split from the box store, I've run Champion, I've run County Line, I've run Northern Tool, I've run Easton Made, Allwood, Dyna. I run whatever I can, and every single thing I've ever run, I've told you some things I don't like about it, and I've told you things I do like about it, and you're going to get an honest opinion from me. I don't hide when a round kick's crooked or when a saw doesn't cut, or I don't hide that stuff because what's my word if it's fake? Like if you watch a channel and they run a splitter and it always is perfect, it's fake. Because not any splitter that I've ever seen yet is going to split every piece of wood perfectly, because wood is not all the same. It's all different.
The only thing we hide is my attitude.
I have to edit out. No, we don't. There have been several people who've told me to divorce you immediately.
Yeah. That's
But we do have to edit
it.
out some of her language.
Oh, that is not
Her
true.
language gets in editing. We'll have some of the most fire footage ever, and I have to take it out because she knows if something happens that she doesn't want to end, she'll language it out of the video.
Hey, good evening, John Williams. Yeah, so the splitter park is kind of my idea. It was a brainchild I came up with one night while I wasn't sleeping because I don't sleep very well.
Sleep is for the weak.
And I was like, that's a great idea because, like I said, some people just don't know. And we have other things that I'm going to be selling eventually as well. And when we get those, we're going to do the same thing with those too. So it's going to be kind of cool. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Chris wants you to put Easton Made, Wolf Ridge, and Allwood side by side and run them.
Man, I would love to do that.
I'd love to do it.
All right, there's enough people here. Maybe some of you guys can help make this happen. I want to bring Splitter Wars to some of these shows. So I want to have Splitter Wars. I don't care if it's the manufacturers that are putting the machines out there or how we do it, but I want some way to be able to classify machines, either tonnage-wise or whatever, and I want to do timed Splitter Wars.
I said we had it. The Hoosier, there was all three that were there. The problem is
but
just
it's
getting
not
the
you gotta
comparable.
You got to have comparable wood, and an operator can make a lot of difference. Like
operator can make a huge
I made
difference.
Russ look silly on that birch today.
Yes, absolutely.
He was putting wood through like it was. He never touched a splitter before.
Kevin will tell you 110% that when I split versus when Kevin splits, there's a big difference in how long it takes to make a quart of firewood.
I'll tell you
Is Kevin
when.
fast?
No.
I will tell you, when Rachel splits versus when I split, there is not only a difference in how good the splitter looks, there is a difference in how smoothly the splitter is run.
That is true. I have a different finesse in how I do
Smooth
it.
is fast. Heath
And
is
you are like
distracted.
spastic.
But sometimes I can go fast if everything clicks.
So
But when you
Frickin'
try to
Jeep
go
wants
fast,
to know
you
if we can do splitter wars at
mess
Hope.
up.
Sure we can. I'm willing to do splitter wars wherever we need to.
You
John.
can't bring John. The lickety split ain't gonna get her done. She don't start in the cold.
He can have his own class. That can be a single wedge machine.
The lickety split class,
Sure.
the 1950s and older.
Well,
I love John. John from Frickin' Jeep.
If you have your own
my
lickety
future.
split, you're welcome to bring it.
right.
Why would you?
Hmm?
I think so, Dave. It's
You
not
brought it to me, dog.
It's cold coffee too.
I don't like
Anybody
hot coffee.
wondered. It is ice cold.
They make iced coffee. I invented this. There's another guy I work with. He's like, I said, I don't like my coffee hot. He says, oh my God, me either. He's like, thank God there's another normal human in the world. There's two of us now.
Ralph showed up.
Yeah, John, see,
Ralph?
that's exactly what I was talking about. He bought a wool fridge because he wasn't sure what he needed, and it was a good fit for him in the end. But if you aren't really sure and you have a place that you can go and you can
Test
try
them all.
everything out, you may be going up or down a size, all depending on what it is, to make sure that you're getting what you really want. So I just want everybody that buys something from me to get something that when they have it, they know it's what they wanted, not what they thought they wanted.
And I'll say, like the birch changes a little bit of all wood, because like my buddy, he has a Wolfridge Pro 28C, and I had the all wood musclewood, and I loved my all wood, and he loved his Wolfridge Pro 28C. Well, he split a lot mobile. He'd drop a tree out in the woods and he'd bring the splitter to it because that's how he liked to run it. The all woods before the birch weren't really a bring it to the wood. It's a bring the wood to the machine because they're big, they're heavy. You can tow them with a tractor or the Trax power dolly would move it around, or a vehicle, but you were not towing a musclewood or a locust or a bloodwood with an ATV or even a side-by-side, I would say. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah.
But that birch, I towed it up with the four-wheeler. So
the
now,
Lions, Joe.
like I said, if everyone wanted the same thing, there'd only be one of everything out there. That's one thing I love about firewood. Not only can people like different machines, different ways of doing things. You're not right. I'm not right. You're not wrong. I'm not right. There's just different ways to do it. And what works for me might not work for Russ, and what works for us might not work for Rachel.
And I asked
they're both wrong
questions.
if they disagree with me, but there's that. Everyone can be different.
Yeah, I ask a lot of questions. Whenever anybody calls me about a splitter, I probably ask more questions about their firewood operation than they ask themselves. And it's mostly because I've done this for so long now at this point with my own firewood business that I really try to figure out what it is that they're doing and what they want to do. So it's pretty important.
Lions winning yet?
So Jeremiah wants to race the 22 RS against the new Birch series.
Let's go, Jeremiah. I'll race anything.
Yeah.
Does Jeremiah have the 22 hours?
Yeah, he does. And he's put up a ton of wood with it.
Didn't you invite him over?
Yeah. Jeremiah, grab the splitter. I got your maul here.
We're here all day tomorrow.
We'll see you in the morning. Shoot me a text. I'll shoot you the address.
Bring Amanda.
Yeah. It can be no, it's not going to be Rachel and Amanda versus us three. We need a chance. Those two are workhorses.
Yeah.
We will beat them for sure.
Not on this little asleep.
Clarence Dobson is the one who spotted my bear coat in the video.
We got busted.
John, I had toyed with the idea of renting splitters. I looked into rental insurance and it's really, really expensive. But if you become part of the American Rental Association, that gets a whole lot cheaper. And the ARA actually helps a lot with that stuff as well. So stay tuned.
Now, Bobby did just comment, and he said you can tow them with a 4x4 four-wheeler or a side-by-side. He's done it many times. And I will strike my last comment from the record because I was proven wrong. When I had tried it,
yes, there is something you have to do.
There's something you have to do, in my opinion, because I had tried it, and I am a self-proclaimed super strong human. And to pick up the tongue weight on those all wood, like my muscle wood, it was not easy. And then Russ and Bobby, because I said something about it, they're like, extend the pusher all the way out, the ram all the way out. And that, because those rams are so big and so heavy and so solid, when you do that, you can move it with these guns, baby.
What about a golf cart? Can you tow it with a golf cart?
I'm gonna probably say
The
no
Birch
on the
series,
golf.
no
The
problem.
Birch, yes. The other ones, you might be able to, but it'll catch on fire because my buddy tried to drag his lawn with one, and they are not made for that. But so yes, Bobby, you obviously are right about your splitter because you know more about them than me. And I would say with the ram out, yes, you can probably tow it with that.
Yeah,
but at the same time, Bobby, I will say
that was a little loud.
No, because I can't be wrong completely. If you read the tow rating on your four-wheeler and the weight of your splitter, you're exceeding it.
Oh, there goes your warranty.
Warranty void.
Jeremiah.
But it'll do it if you put
Amanda's
the ram on.
bringing the drinks.
Good night,
Jeremiah's
Ralph.
on his way.
Is he coming?
Remember,
I wish you would.
just read Ralph's comment.
What?
The last one. Good night. Remember.
Ralph, Rachel is good looking, and I love when you have now recently started adding at least something positive about me to your comments, because I am
Pete's
here.
feelings are hurt that he's
Twice in the last
out.
week, people have come up to her and said about our son Nathan. Our son Nathan we've done a pretty good job raising him. And twice in the last week, I am standing by Rachel with our son.
Well, they probably don't realize that we're together.
And they will walk up to Rachel. Is this your son? You did an amazing job raising him. He is a great young man. And I'm like, Dad's right. Like,
he literally says that. Hello, I'm right here.
I said, Dad didn't do anything. I said, I got nothing to do with it. Well, I'm sure you did good too. I'm like, literally twice in the last week that's happened.
Tony, he's drinking D-Light. It's his he got it at the gas station yesterday.
Because these guys give me crap.
It only came in 4-packs.
When I drink
out
hams,
with all of his 4-packs.
If I drink hams or something, people are like, why are you drinking sewer water? So I'm like, craft beer, D-Light. But they come in a 4-pack. So Russ gets, what, a 18, 16 pack of Bud Light, and he goes up and buys it. No negative comments. I get 4 4-packs, and I go up, and she's like, oh, you like to drink, huh? You thirsty? You alcoholic? I'm like, it's the same amount of beer.
I guess you really like that beer.
I'm like, come on, man.
I feel like there's 12, ma'am. There's only 12
Did you feel
here.
targeted?
Yeah.
I feel targeted right now because I just realized Rachel put me in the middle, and I got this bright yellow shirt on, and I'm just
also at the same time, she gave me a compliment too.
She loves Rachel's fur coat.
Yeah, that fur coat, that's gotten a lot of compliments.
Everywhere
that's
I
what
go.
gave you away in the videos.
No, I was trying to hide.
We were trying to hide. You were running in the background, and they thought it was a bear.
It does get a comment. I'll be watching your videos, Rachel. Thanks, Rob.
Yeah, no. So it's been a busy couple of days for sure. We've got quite a bit to do before I head out, and then I've got more stops to go on the way back, and I've still got to try to get home at some point. So that's going to be interesting too.
I told Russ, I said, you are welcome to stay until Tuesday, sir. I have probably
lots of wood.
60 plus cord of wood we can run through that beast.
You got it. Maybe we should check with Amber when all the packages are going to be there to clear it before you come back.
Sure. They show up every day. The FedEx man showed up at my house one day and got out, and then he looks at me and he's like, I just got so used to stopping here, I figured that there had to be something. He goes, I don't have anything. Have a good day.
Our guy, our Amazon guy knows. He we got a circle driveway, so they just drive in circles and throw one package out at a time because there's so many. But wasn't the one guy you commented on the landscape or something about, oh yeah, I've noticed you've been working on that. How much are you here that you now know our house and what we're doing?
And the funny thing is, it's your packages. It's not,
no, I do. I got a package today, and I'm always like, did I order something or is this yours? And then I open it, and it's like Christmas. I'm like, oh yes, I got this, and it's literally something I ordered, but I forget.
Yeah, Oklahoma's a little out of the way for this trip, Mike, but I got to get out there and I got to see you and Joe at some point.
Bobby likes my coat. You see,
it does look nice. It's a nice coat.
I had
this little boy looks me up and down and he goes, dang, that is a nice coat. That looks like a rich lady coat.
I will say, if anyone ever thinks about going to Bobby's and trying to steal an all-wood log splitter, his dog will tell you no.
Yeah, your dog was.
That dog is almost as
intimidating.
muscular as I am.
I was trying not to move too fast. No sudden movements. I didn't even want to pet him.
Luckily, you thought you were a bear.
Yeah, he thought I was a bear, so he did not mess with me. Didn't even really, just looked at me. Liked Russ a lot.
They didn't.
Yeah.
It went to literally every person in there except me. It did not come. I'm like, I'll pet you, buddy.
Wouldn't leave Russ alone.
He knew I was the dominant. What do you call that? Predator in the room. The alpha. That dog was like, I'm big, but I know my place. Hardworking man, it will not be challenged.
Sounds good.
John says the people knew you. That's why they complimented me.
They knew who you?
They knew you. That's why I got the compliment.
They did not. They were complete strangers. We were at different high schools in different towns. That's what we're talking about, right, Nate?
I think so. I don't know.
Yeah, they didn't know her. Unless they knew her from the channel. Or knew me from the channel. I mean, they probably do. I'm sort of a big deal. You got fans across the world.
So you can put dual log lifts on any of the splitters if you wanted, Carl Lewis. It doesn't really matter. Bobby will build you whatever you want. So if you need 2 log lifts, no problem.
I think Bobby would build you a rocket ship if you ordered it.
For the price, you have
pay the right price.
Yep. If the check's cash and the machine's building.
A hydraulically powered rocket ship.
That would be interesting.
Elon Musk is good at those too. He
Elon
might
Musk.
be a better call.
We're gonna run the 6-way wedge tomorrow, Mike. That's what I'm gonna run when we do the cord. So I'm gonna leave the 6-way, and we've got the wood kind of all staged and sorted, and we're just gonna send it. It's just gonna do what it needs to do.
Bobby said he did a double wedge, his first one 12 years ago.
Double log lift, yep.
Yeah, so there were some of these other companies that weren't even companies yet.
Yeah, but he was probably copying one of those box store.
You probably
log lifts.
copied.
Could have very well been. Bobby.
Did Rugged May do that first?
They might have. Yeah, no, I happened to stumble across Allwood just like Heath did. I was in the market for a commercial splitter during COVID time. Lead times were crazy. What I had planned on getting from machine wasn't working out. Saw a YouTube video, and I called because the comments were turned off in the video. And I called.
Bobby never turned them on. They weren't turned off.
And I said, hey, I'm calling about the green splitter that was on the YouTube channel. And he goes, yeah. He goes, I got it sitting right here. I said, is it available? I said, yeah. I said, all right, I'm on my way. So where are you coming from? I said, Maine. And he said, oh, okay. And I don't think he thought I was serious. And I showed up. And when I came out, he's like, you were serious? I was like, yeah. He goes, you're towing that home? I said, yeah. He goes, hang on. He went in, got the impact wrench, retightened the lug nuts, and sent me on my way. And we were back to Maine.
Yeah, it's I was gonna say something.
Oh, Tim Stout got a strike.
Oh, he sure didn't think you were coming, Bobby says. For anyone who doesn't know what Russ just mentioned, Allwood does have a YouTube channel, which he puts. It's not like our YouTube channels. Bobby builds awesome stuff. When he builds something new, he puts a short video out showing it, explaining it. You can't comment on it. You can watch it. You can see what it is. And if you want to know about it, you can
Call
Bobby or Hope.
Or me.
Russ, or you can say, I want to see that on the Hardworking Man channel, and maybe Bobby will send one. We'll check it out for you.
All of my videos, there's an email link in the bottom. You can send me an email, give me a contact number, or write me an email with what you got for questions, and we'll get you taken care of. And it's just as simple as getting your deposit for your machine ready to go, and we'll get the build process started. It's a pretty simple and pain-free process.
I will say, like, you found the splitter and bought it.
Yep.
The day I went to visit Bobby and see his splitters, I ordered one. Clyde went, talked to Bobby, saw the splitters in person, ordered. Like, the internet doesn't do stuff justice. Like I said earlier, I'd be honest about what I have. But when, like that tree, how hard that tree was leaning, you can't get that in a video. The way all woods are built, you can't get in a video. For instance, on one of Russ's things the other day, somebody commented, and this isn't a negative about Wolf Ridge. This is about people on the internet giving out misinformation, because the Allwood is a big machine. And I personally have run the Wolf Ridge Pro 28C I've run the Elwood Musclewood. I've run the Easton Made 1222. I've run a lot of these, and I did a Splitter Wars video where I would compare specs. And he put something about the Musclewood, and the guy said that thing is a joke. It's a piece of junk. The wedge is way smaller than my Wolfridge Pro 28. The push plate is tiny compared to it. I said, don't kid yourself. This is a big machine. That is a legit push plate. And the guy basically told me I'm an idiot and I didn't know what I'm talking about. So I then went and I measured my all-wood push plate. And I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was roughly 12 inches tall and 15 or 16 inches wide. And then I went and I measured the Wolfridge Pro 28C. And it's roughly 11 by 11. So I actually wasn't an idiot. I wasn't spreading misinformation like he said. He was. I had the experience. I knew both splitters. I knew what I was talking about. But you will get people out there that will speak as fact when they literally have no idea what they're talking about.
The guy has never seen an all-wood in person.
Never seen one in person. And then to tell me I'm an idiot when I literally own one and my buddy down the street has the other one he's talking about. And then what did he do, Russ? He deleted all of his comments.
Keith went back and Keith was looking for him and he couldn't.
No, they gone.
He couldn't find him. He was gone.
Because people like that don't help. They don't help Wolfridge. They don't help any consumer. They don't help anybody. Like, you might think you're helping Wolfridge because you like them, which is fine, but you're not. You're not helping them. Just be honest, people. There's no point in lying or deceiving people or talking about stuff you know nothing about.
Right.
Yeah.
Even though I do it sometimes, but I'm trying. I literally think I know something.
Well, that's different. That's a perceived perception at that point.
Right. And I learn as much from my channel as I hope people learn from me. And then I try to reshare that with people.
Frickin' Jeep says the best time he ever did was 2 chords in an hour with a big high school football player. And that was split and stacked into his dump truck in 1985.
John, I was 5. I wasn't making no wood yet.
I was 1. So, good on you, John.
John, like I said, I'm a big fan of John's. I like watching his videos. I can't watch them all because he puts out sometimes multiples a day.
James Baton, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you stop by.
James, tell the Minister of Finance that hardworking man says the MT100 is a worthwhile investment.
MT1. Oh, you think you need one of those too?
No, James thinks he needs. James gonna get one, and I think they're cool.
Yeah.
It's a mini skid steer, and James wants one to move around the 37D.
I think it's a worthwhile investment. I support that financial decision, James. Go for it.
You know what? James didn't acknowledge me. He just acknowledged the gents. So you know what, James?
Who is he to assume your gender?
I wonder how do you Canadians feel about Justin Trudeau? Just stepping out.
Chris Neville, he could build you a smoker right attached to your wood splitter if you want. If that's really what you're looking for, you give him a call. I'm sure we can make that happen.
So there were a few people who thought this started at 8, and that's partly our problem, partly my fault. Because in one of our videos,
did you say 8?
I believe you did, but it was at my direction, or I did. One of us did. And then afterwards, Rachel goes, "You do realize the Lions are playing?" And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I did not."
So maybe you edited it.
So we then,
the wrong time
when we scheduled our live on our channel, we scheduled it for 7. Because I don't mind missing part of the beginning of the game. But if, say, we started at 8, I'd have to miss almost the whole game. So starting at 8 would have pushed us too late. We're starting at 7. And with Russ here, Russ is not from Michigan, so he's not a Lions fan.
Lions don't mean a thing to me. I'll stay and entertain
if we're still rocking, me and Rachel can step out and check the game out. Russ can rock the live, and we'll come right back and jump in like we never missed a beat.
It's all good.
So don't worry about we ain't going to shut down for the game as long as Russ wants to roll.
No, we're good. As long as they keep the beer coming, I'm happy. I'll sit right here. We can chat all night long, boys and girls.
We'll keep the beer coming because the Bud Lights are Russ's beers anyways.
Right.
We're very gracious
hosts. Drink your D-Light, you little craft beer snob.
I gave you one.
I know. I drank it.
They were good.
And?
It was all right.
He loves to try. He'll be like, "This one is called maple syrup and eggs. What a great beer." And I'm like, "Why did you buy that?" And he goes, "I don't know. It just sounded good."
Myself, I really like hard cider. I do a lot of different hard ciders, and I try hard cider everywhere I go. If I
We
see
have
something
Blake's
that I
here.
don't
It's
like,
a big orchard.
I saw that, and I was like, I've never seen
I
that
have
before, and
tried
I almost
several.
did, and I'm like, eh.
I've tried several hard ciders, and I'm never a fan.
But that was the hit at the live for Friday night when we were at Bunyan. I had cider donut hard cider from Down East Cider Company and blueberry beer, and they were making blueberry cider donuts.
Oh yeah, they loved that.
Yeah,
I'm not a hard cider guy myself.
Shive was all about that. He ran out of Miller Lite that night. It saved him.
Freaking Jake calls them the dead skins.
The dead skins.
Now the only team I would be okay with the Lions losing to would be the Redskins, which are now the Commanders, only because my stepdad, who was an awesome man, was a huge Commanders fan, and he passed away a couple years ago. So it would suck because I want true Lions, like have been for my whole life, and this is the first time I feel like, man, we could actually maybe do this thing.
I think cider on draft is just better in general.
Yeah, we should get you some Blakes before you leave. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Who's it? Oh, Gian in the forest. Good evening.
Glenn Kent says the live stream didn't show up. He had to go hunt it down.
What?
YouTube
you know what? You're probably not subscribed because it popped up on me and I'm subscribed.
Well, YouTube does some strange things. It unsubscribes people. It stops giving notifications.
The Lions scored.
It does. Who was it, man? There's so many weapons on that team. So many weapons.
Who scored?
Who scored?
Kimmy!
Jameer, that dude. Jameer is gonna do some things if he stays healthy.
It was good.
So-
He did the whole thing.
He's fast
He just
too.
ran it down.
He's so fast.
Dirt Rider KX500 says, Heath, would you ever lie about a product that was donated to you?
No, I will not say no. You attach a milli to it.
You still
You
couldn't.
You could buy
No,
me.
you could
But
not.
no, listen.
You
This
could
is how it
not.
would work. I am a rule follower.
He'd
My son
find
Nathan is a
some
rule follower.
loophole
Listen.
to say it.
Listen, if somebody was like, "Hey, here's this thing.
It's getting loud, Russ.
I'm going to pay you $1 million to tell people this thing is awesome," there will be a code that
He'd
you
be
will
like
know.
winking the
I will
whole
be like,
time.
So I got this thing here, and I have to say, it is awesome. There will be a code.
He could
So
not.
will I? And I won't. I'm not afraid. I make mistakes. And
I mean, did you guys not see when we were given the Yakta lawnmower? I was like, well, check that out. And we're not going to just say, yes, we'll take it. If
a
it's a hunk
$13,000
of crap, I don't
rider,
want
they
it.
wanted to get. They, I believe, are going to be an amazing. They are an amazing company. Their
You just got
parent.
a Yakta dealer up by me.
I researched the
Those
parent
are
company.
badass mowers.
When people
for
offer
real.
me stuff, I research the companies. I research the product. I have swung and missed on some that, like, electronics are tough because they want the videos out fairly soon. But I'll say right in the video, I got this. It seems like a good product. I've had it for a week, so I don't know about the longevity. But and I don't bash things, but I feel bad if I say something seems good and someone buys it. But I will go back. Like, there was a certain jump pack that I put on the channel, and it ended up failing shortly after the video. They sent me a replacement. It was bad.
What's up,
They sent me a
Bucky?
replacement. It was bad. They said. And I'm like, I can't. So I went back and I edited the description. I said, after further review, these things do not. So, I can't, I'm not going to come out and bash a product, but I will go and update my video, type my video descriptions. And no, I be as honest as I can. But I'm like everybody. When I get something new, when you get something new, you're excited about it. You wouldn't have got it if you didn't think it was good. So, I'll be like, man, I really like this thing. And then over time, you might be like, not as much. But if you see me continually using something and recommending something, it's because I believe it is legitimately the best thing I've used. And I recommend and promote things that I have bought and have no affiliation with and have not talked to any. Like, if I think it's going to help you, if I'm happy that I spent my money on it, I'll try to.
Not yet.
I'll take another one if you're going. I will.
I was going to give Russ one.
I'll tell others about it. Like, I bought my Allwood, and everything I said about it, No one paid me. I'm still not paid. I bought this all wood that I just got.
See you,
Like,
Mr. Mike. Good
I
night,
got a
buddy.
discount on it, but I didn't ask for it, and I appreciate it. But I bought it, and I didn't get it wasn't an almost free. It was I paid a good price for it, but I am not
But
the
again,
Camel
that goes-
City Mill socks. I've bought more of them myself. The Strike Hold, I literally just bought a 5-gallon bucket of it.
He did. And you know
I
something
bought
like
it.
that is good.
I didn't get a discount.
I want
bought
you
it.
to use it.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's that Strike Hold? You got to use it on
N&N
something I'm
trailers.
doing.
I
Those
bought
Kansas
my
City, I do
N&N
love those.
trailers. Thumb Trailer, I got a deal on the one I got from them.
Yeah.
Thumb Trailer is literally, they're legit guys like us. Saw Suppliers, I reached out to them to work with them, and I talked to the owner, Mike, for probably 4 or 5 hours. And while I was
Forever.
talking to him at 11 o'clock at night, he was working. His wife was out pre-sorting a delivery to help, like, they started out of a one-stall garage. I like working with people. I came from a single wide trailer, divorced parents, and my parents worked hard, but we never had much. I like helping people that pulled themselves up by the bootstraps and that are like a lot of us that just go to work every day and do it. And if I can promote a good company and a good product, I will.
Oh,
And you just nailed it.
And I buy junk and I'm excited about it, but that's used and it has potential.
Jack, Log Cabin Fiber said he loves used things. He would love all the used things you buy.
They have
you could have a used
potential,
thing.
man. I
You
could
should
turn
be
it
in
into gems.
Gems.
He does.
The ideas I
Oh,
have
look
are
at it. That's
endless.
what he just says. He just sees potential.
Potential. I'm still working on Rachel. I'm gonna get her there.
Ted ordered from Saw Supplier. What'd you get? What'd you get, Ted?
I have ordered that
He only
pickeroo.
has-
So
wait, what do you consider a tractor, James?
Yeah, how many tractors do you own now, Heath?
He just has one.
jeez, I'm getting up there with my log splitters.
Well, we have the Massey.
I have a
which
Massey.
I like to drive.
I have
that.
the Massey. I have a Kubota that I bought at an auction.
But do you consider those little?
It's a tractor. It's got a diesel
like a
engine.
lawnmower.
I bought a parts tractor for that one. I bought a Kubota BX 2200, and I had my Coyote NS 6010.
What do you have currently? Why do you say you bought a BX? What is that one?
That's the little guy out there that I bought a couple months ago, and I have to fix a seal in it, and I haven't had time yet.
And what does that go with the one out there?
No, those are two different ones. Those I'm going to sell. Investments, babe.
Those are tractors.
Investments.
You consider those tractors? All right.
Oh, Samara bars. I've got a Samara bar, Ted. I've got the
Sugi.
Sugihara bar.
GB.
And I think I mentioned this earlier. GB, to this point, they're not the lightest. They're my favorite bar so far. And I'm seeing if Saw Supplier can become a dealer because I really like them. But they're hard to find.
He wants a mini skid steer. Don't.
I almost bought a mini skid steer the other day off Marketplace. It was an absolute steal. In fact, it may have been stolen.
Does
It
your
was
brother
such a
have
good
one?
deal.
Does Jonathan have one?
No, he just bought two big, huge skid steers. He could buy two for the price of one, so he bought them both.
I have a feeling that if somebody took Marketplace away from you, your world would be a sad place.
It would.
No, it's because there will be something new. Because remember, there used to be the bargain corner in the newspaper
Well,
here where
everything
we
used to
live.
be on Craigslist, and then Craigslist
Well,
went away.
before that, there was the
Yes.
bargain corner. You're too young to know this. Do you
In
know
the
what
newspaper.
MapQuest is?
I do.
Okay.
I'm only 4 years younger than you there, bud.
But so there was the bargain corner in the newspaper. It was anything under $500, and you literally had to buy the Grand Rapids Press, and you look in there and read all these little teeny blocks. And then there was eBay, and then
That's also how you
Craigslist.
knew where the
See, in
garage
Maine,
sales
we
were.
had this really nice book called The Uncle Henry's, and
We
it was
never
for
had
New
that.
England, and it was classified, separated into categories for you. So if you were looking for a tractor, you could go to agriculture, and you could look down through, and it was separated in alphabetical order with the towns.
See, you Maynards are
Good
smart.
night, Phil.
They discontinued it because of the internet. They took away the best
The
thing we
internet.
had.
I'm going to talk. The internet is taking over everything. Best Buy used to be a hopping place. Like you went to Best Buy, there was the car stereo place was packed. All this stuff. I
Isn't
went there
that
the other
bug,
day
Jason?
to buy a new computer for video editing. It was 6 p.m. on a Friday. That place should be bumping. There was one car in the parking lot that wasn't an employee.
Good night,
And
Jason.
I walked in. It's like an appliance clearance warehouse with just appliances not in boxes
I said they're
sitting
not
on
on
the floor.
clearance.
Like
Expensive stuff.
people don't go to stores anymore. But I needed to go and say, hey, I need to know what computer to buy. I'm not a computer guy, and I got a gaming computer to edit videos because the girl, she had these glasses that looked like she knew about computers, and she said stuff that I didn't know what she was saying. So I just said, which one would you buy?
Kidding.
And I bought the bad boy, and I brought it home.
He said sold.
Wow.
You look like
She's
a nerd.
gotta know.
You have to know.
That must be a thing with people like you that spend a lot of money. Like my wife, she likes to spend a lot of money, and she's like, they knew what they were talking about. They told me it was a great deal, so I bought it.
Boom.
See, and if I'm going to make a
Why
purchase,
would they lie? I think it's because your wife is probably very honest, like I am.
I will spend months like debating and researching
Yeah.
to where I have just like fatigue, and I'm like, I'm just not even going to do
I pull
it.
the trigger. I'll be like, I'll buy something,
I'm with you.
and then after I buy it, I don't even know what I bought.
I'm like like I haven't booked we're going to Europe. Nathan and I are going to Europe at the end of
You ain't
March.
got a passport yet.
My passport hasn't come in the mail yet. I don't have a flight booked. I don't have a hotel. I have not a reservation for anywhere because it's stressful to me.
Yeah.
The whole thing. I have to commit. I don't want to.
My wife will tell you that I'm very cheap, and I'm proud of that. So.
My wife won't tell you that.
Amen.
No, you are very cheap for anything that matters to
Girl,
me.
you rocking a bearskin coat.
Anything that comes to me, he is very cheap.
See, I told somebody I was going to get a new tractor, like, oh, cool, what are you getting? I was like, a 1967 International 504 gas tractor, and it needs a lot of work. And they're like, thought you were getting a new tractor. I said, I am. It's new to me.
Right, you got to keep up on these comments because I'm not.
I'm trying to read. Didn't you bring home a beat up chicken plucker?
Oh, that was
It is coming for you.
That was a drain tumbler, and I was going to turn it into a firewood cleaner.
And you almost got electrified.
Instead, I told Rachel no more projects, which was a lie. But I tried. I really did try. So
Until you went to work that night and was on Marketplace.
No, I found a firewood conveyor, and I thought, this is the one I've been looking for. And I said, no more projects. So I sold that one to get the conveyor. So it wasn't an addition, it was a swap.
So where's the conveyor?
Hi, Richard.
It's out there in the yard. I haven't worked on it yet.
It's not ready?
No, it's not ready yet. I haven't.
You were highly regarded in the welding community, though.
It needs more than welding right now.
Oh.
And
TJ Stonehouse. Booze is liquid poison. PSA. I got the bearskin hoodie too.
oh, she don't have the bearskin. That's a brand. Hers is a legit bear. This grizzly. So it was messing with me, and I took him out, turned him into a jacket, gave it to my girl.
Jimbo wants to know about your treadmill conveyor.
Mm-hmm.
I still got it. I'm gonna re-weld the. So the last time I moved it, I welded some stuff, and
it's so fun when other people witness.
I didn't. No one has taught me how to weld. No one has taught me how to cut down trees.
Didn't need to teach you. You're highly regarded in the welding.
I am now because I've taught myself.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to share my mistakes. So I tried to move my homemade conveyor on some parts that I welded on, and instead of it moving, they just went ping and flew off. So now I said, you know what I need? I need 220 in the garage because then I can get a better welder and those things won't come off anymore. And that's exactly what I did.
The bigger the volts, the better the weld.
You got to put the heat to it.
And
You got to
put the heat.
You got to get
you a beer. You're pointing and doing too much.
You got to get the
I'll
heat.
take another one too.
You got to get the heat into the substrate, and you got to get your pool, and it's gotta bond those molecules. And this thing's gonna be pure fire.
And that's how welding does not work. So if we'd like to know, we can go see Rusty Homestead Garage. He welds for a living. He'll probably tell us a little bit better. But that's a pretty good explanation. I like that.
See, this is one thing I learned a long time ago in life. Not a long time ago, but a few years ago. Whatever you do it with confidence, and people will believe you know what you're doing.
You know, I see that a lot with firewood too, unfortunately. And for me, that's a good thing because I have people selling people seasoned firewood up by me, and my green firewood burns better than their seasoned firewood that they bought.
I have literally had people ask me where my wood is imported from because it burns so much better than anything else they've ever bought in Michigan. Like, it's not imported. But when I tell you it's dry, it's dry. I don't
just
split
tell me
something.
Smuggle it across the border in Canada.
I can't.
Canadian wood.
The Canadian wood, there's going to be tariffs on that stuff.
Oh. But
Hey.
the Canadians can bring wood into Maine all the time with the rules that they have. They do it all the time where I am.
Commercial wood.
Yeah.
Little's lawn care and fire will come show you how to weld.
See, there you go.
I'm a welder, guys. I don't know why everyone discounts my welding skills. I've had some things hold together.
We'll be here all day tomorrow. Come on over.
I've had some
So
welds.
FLC, if you need a conveyor, an all-wood conveyor would work just as well on that Easton made. Give me a call. We can hook you up. No problem.
I'll weld that bad boy up for you. If Bobby's
Don't let
behind.
Heath weld it. Bobby's not that far behind. We'll make sure it's very well welded, and you won't have to worry about things going ping, flying off.
Is that 515 Homesteaders? He'll come by and teach you.
Well, listen. So I had a few problems. Let me give some PSAs.
You do need someone to teach you for real.
No, listen. I got a few PSAs.
Now
So
we have 220.
Yes.
So if you got a weld, I went fancy. I got an auto darkening welding helmet, right? Because the other ones, it's sort of hard to see where you're going to start when you flip the thing down and all that.
Two Wheels and Barbecue says he'll be over after work tomorrow to show you.
Two Wheels and Barbecue, check his channel out. I work with that guy. He put a video out like 12 years ago, and it was cool. But now I can't get him to do more. But anyway, so I got this auto darkening welding helmet. And the batteries died because it was in the winter and I left it out there. So I bought new ones off Amazon. Don't do it. They were no good. So my auto darkening welding helmet wasn't working correctly. So I'm welding and then all of a sudden, like, I can't see it. I'm like, how do you control the puddle when you can't even see it because you're literally flash burning your eyeballs out because you bought Amazon batteries trying to save money so you can buy your wife a bearskin coat.
Jennings trash talking you.
Oh, Chris,
So
Chris is
legit.
saying we're weird.
He said, "Hi, Rachel, and you two weird guys."
You see that?
So legit, you got to go
I did.
get the real Energizer batteries from the store so you can see your welds. And now I know what I'm doing. So
Yes.
I was
Jenna.
always taught that when you're learning to weld, you do not use an auto darkening helmet.
I'm not learning to weld. I've welded before. I'm now an experienced welder.
With an auto darkening helmet, it will teach you to flinch when you start your arc, and it becomes harder for you to start your weld and get good penetration from the start.
Did you about weld two extension cords together?
I did, but I didn't know it was going to happen. And I still use those cords, and you really got to crank on them to get them to plug in now because they're ruined internally. And
So I've got an $80 stick welder that I bought off Amazon, and I'll tell you right now, that thing is the size of a woman's purse. And it welds absolutely incredible. For $80, you can't ask for anything better. That thing is awesome.
Now I'm going to tell you guys something about stick welding in case you didn't know. You got to keep your stick stored in a airtight container because that flux on the outside will absorb moisture and it can give you difficulties welding. I didn't know that. Now I know that. So this is from when I was a beginner welder to now being an expert welder. I know these things, so I can share them with the rest of you.
So a nice, easy project to make that happen for you is to just build a wooden box with an incandescent light bulb in it, and the light bulb keeps the moisture out of the box so that your flux does not get impermeated with moisture.
I instead will use I believe it's called a MIG welder.
A MIG welder.
Hey, someone just says, "Love my Miller MIG welder." Just since you said that.
My grandfather, Gramps, calls a MIG welder a monkey welder because he says any monkey can MIG weld.
That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna figure this thing out yet.
And
that's what I say. Well, I don't say any monkey, but when we talk about like doing drywall, I go, I mean, no offense to drywallers, but
drywall sucks. It isn't fun, but they do it every day.
I'm like, they can.
Jenin wants you to post some how-to welding videos. He's ready to learn too.
Jenin, they're coming. I'm just the garage.
Jenin, why don't you come over tomorrow too?
No, the garage. I will be welding. I bought a pair of MIG pliers. They're specialty pliers just for MIG welding. I bought a tank of argon stuff and a cart, and I got it all, man. I got the sleeves, the little American flag hat thingy.
He does.
I'll show you. I'll weld some stuff together that you can't break apart.
So Gramp was a welder and a millwright and a heavy equipment mechanic by trade. And
I'll teach Gramp a few things if you bring him over.
I taught him a couple of things. It's kind of, one of the things that gets me is as we get older, things don't happen the way they used to, and Gramp's kind of losing his sight and stuff now. And when he asks me to weld stuff for him now because he can't necessarily see to do it anymore, it makes me thankful that I paid attention when he was doing those things while I was growing up, because my brother, he had the opportunity to do it. My brother, if you give him 2 chances to grab the right end of the screwdriver, he's probably going to hurt himself twice. So not everybody gets that knack or that common sense to do those self-taught how-to type things, but I grew up doing a little bit of everything, and my grandfather always told me you could be a welder or you could be a grinder, and he said you got to pick up which one you want to do. He said, and get real good at either or. So it took me a long time, and I don't weld as much now as I used to. So when I do weld, it's not as much pretty artwork as I would like it to be.
I'm gonna be stacking dimes. I'll show you some things.
Stacking dimes.
Not with a TIG though. I'm gonna stack dimes with a MIG. And my dad never taught me how to weld. He would weld a little, but he would hide in the garage and watch his dad weld, and even though his dad told him not to. So welding sort of scares me. Welding sort of scares me, and possums sort of scare me, and they're both two different stories.
So Brian Shotliff wants to know how you are with a torch, because.
So I do have a cutting torch. Hold on. Let me start. Go back to the welding
story here.
Oh, I got stories for everything, and they're real. I don't make.
And he has every tool out there. He's like, I got it.
No, listen. So this is again. You learn from your mistakes, and I'm not afraid to share my mistakes. So his dad told him, "Don't watch me weld." Well, my dad would hide in the garage and watch him weld. Well, my dad then got burned out his retinas. That's why welding sort of scares me, because he wears Coke bottle glasses now, and he can't hardly see. If you take his glasses off, you kick his ass because he can't see you. I don't beat my dad up, but I'm just saying you could if you wanted to. But anyway, he goes,
dirty, be careful.
He says, I'm blind as a bat, but I was the only kindergartner who knew how to weld. And I'm like, I mean, that's cool and all, but you can't see nothing for the rest of your life. So that's why that scares me. Possums scare me because I grew up poor. And like my first bike that I ever bought, I bought by collecting pop cans. I'd dive in dumpsters. I'd dig out pop cans. I saved all these up to buy a bicycle. And we were at a park one time at a picnic.
I like that you called it a bicycle.
It is. It has two wheels. And
instead of just like a bike.
No, it was a bicycle. It was in probably 89. There were bicycles then.
That's pretty new for you.
The bicycles that now they're
bikes. Now they're e-bikes. But anyway, so the metal trash can. So I look in there for a pop can or something to collect, and I look in there and there's this nasty dead animal on the bottom. And my dad's always joking about stuff. So I'm like, Dad, what's this animal? And he goes and looks. He says, son, stay away from that. It's a possum. They play dead and they can be really mean and have rabies, which they can't have rabies. I don't think, right? Yeah, they don't get rabies.
You don't want to hurt possums. Possums are great to have around.
So I'm like, Dad, I'm not an idiot.
I'm terrified of possums.
I'm like, Dad, I'm not an idiot. That's a dead animal. There's no reason for it to play dead in the bottom of a trash can. What do you think I am? This stupid? I'm not joking. Stay away from it. I'm serious. And I'm like, whatever, Dad. He literally takes that thing over to the edge of the woods, tips that can over, kicks it, and that dead rotten possum goes scurrying out of it. And ever since that day, I've been terrified of them. And now the cutting torches. So I bought a set of cutting torches because every good mechanic and fabricator and wood splitter needs a set of cutting torches.
Chris says he's getting you a possum for your birthday now.
I don't want a possum. I will take a beaver skin hat that I was going to buy all of your brothers. I thought they were $20 a piece, and Rachel says they were $200 a piece.
I have some beaver skin mitts that we used to use for trapping because you get your hands wet, and when you put your hands in there, it wicks all the water away. Man, those things are great.
I think I'm going to get a beaver hat from Kenny.
But it was really nice. I wore it.
Oh, you're getting two possum instead of a beaver hat.
I know. I'm gonna get a beaver hat or a possum hat if he makes me one. I'll wear the bad boy. But anyway, so with the cutting torches, so I bought myself a set, and then
he'll only wear that hat.
My set was backwards though because it had 2 acetylene tanks and no oxygen. So I took my dad's oxygen tank, and then one day I was like, I'm gonna go learn how to cut with these torches, not really being smart enough to know that when you cut with torches, there's hot slag that drops. So I was wearing mesh tennis shoes.
Calling you out.
That hot slag will burn through the top of a mesh tennis shoe in 0.0 seconds, and then it goes through the skin into your foot, and it doesn't feel good. Yeah. And then I ran out of oxygen, and I haven't filled it since because it'll burn you.
Yeah, no, welding is one of those things where you develop thick skin. You got to learn to get used to your flesh burning every now and then if you're going to do good welds, because it's going to happen.
I'll take a possum. Tell Kenny I got a custom order in for a possum hat.
He says he'll give you a live possum hat.
No, I don't want a live possum hat. I want it to at least be playing dead.
Literally, when he was hunting when he was a teen, he would not.
I got stuck in a tree.
He wouldn't come out because there was a possum.
No, so I went out hunting. I got stories for days.
Make it.
So Hearthstone
I'll make it
Firewood
fast.
has a question.
Hold on, I got to tell Rachel's possum
No,
story.
you don't.
Yes, I do. I'll make
I
it
already
quick.
told it.
No, you didn't. It's way better than what you said. I'm bow hunting. I suck. I can't hit the broadside of a barn from the inside. I'm up in my tree stand. I've got probably 5 arrows with 5 different broadheads. Here comes this possum. I haven't seen any deer, so I'm going to shoot this possum because I think they're bad, because I think they're evil, because I think they have rabies and they're going to attack me. So I proceed to miss this possum 4 times. I have 1 arrow left, and I think to myself, I got to save this in case I got to miss a deer, because clearly I'm not hitting anything. Well, when I climbed up into my tree, there was a small sapling that would rub on my back, which now I know is bad because you're leaving scent on it. But back then I didn't know anything about any of this.
Evening, Tim.
The possum literally climbed up that tree and hung from it by its tail and went to sleep. So I, therefore, now am stuck in my tree stand because I cannot climb down past this attack killer possum that is waiting for me. So a while later, after dark, and I don't come home, my dad comes out and he taught me you got to whistle. You got to whistle to communicate so you don't scare the deer. Mind you, this man didn't kill a deer in over 20 years. So he whistles, I whistle, and he's like, "Did you get one?" I said, "No." He says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I can't get down." "What do you mean you can't get down?" I said, "Dad, I can't get down. I need help." And he comes over and he's like, "What do you mean you can't get down?" I said, "Dad, a possum climbed that tree. I can't get down." And he said, "What were you going to do? Stay out here all night, you stupid kid?" I said, "It appears that way, doesn't it?" And he grabbed that little tree and shook it, and the possum bounced off the ground and ran off, and my life was saved. So that's the possum story. Now, what was the question?
So Hearthaven Firewood.
Possum don't play. They'll get you, man.
Yeah, he wants to know what we use for gloves. He can't seem to find gloves that last for very long doing tree work and firewood.
Russ doesn't wear gloves because he breaks them. My favorite gloves, non-sponsored by, I bought them all myself. I reached out to Milwaukee and they didn't even bother to tell me hi. I like the insulated Milwaukee rubber coated gloves, and I like they're like a cut level 3 or 5 impact gloves. They're rubber coated and they got like rubber on the back, and I have had great luck with them. But I literally have pairs. I use because I lose everything, so I'll have 10 pairs. So maybe that's why they last longer, but I'll have a pair, and then the next time I do a project, I'm using a different pair, and then I find a different. But I literally have had those pairs, and the rubber will wear off, and then you'll get a hole in them. But I've had them last for a long, long time. So those are my favorite.
Yeah, we use the $6.99 rubber-coated gloves from Harbor Freight. They'll last about a week, and then they're done. But for $7 and the amount of firewood that I do, I'm okay with throwing a $7 pair of gloves away.
See, you saw the box. I have a whole box full of Milwaukee insulated.
I believe the direct quote was, "When I find shit that I like, I buy it all
because
in case
they'll
they
discontinue
don't make it anymore."
And then I put it somewhere, and then I forget I have it, and I'll buy more and put them somewhere else. And then I'll be looking for something. I'll be like, "Oh my gosh, look at all these gloves."
You guys reading these comments?
I can't. You're supposed to.
There's some funny comments.
So Ken's Cuts wants me to explain what the state of Maine considers green wood. So the state of Maine only has one rule when it comes to firewood, and they say that seasoned firewood has to be cut and split for 3 months. 3 months only.
That is not ready to burn.
Yeah.
That is not ready to burn by any means, but that is what they are considering seasoned firewood. So when I have people that are buying seasoned firewood and then they get green firewood from me that's been cut for 5 to 6 months in tree length form, and then we split it, they're getting drier wood from me. So it's one of those things where it's buyer beware, and you need to tell your customers and be transparent with them. You got to be as transparent as possible, because at the end of the day, it's our job as a firewood producer to help the people spend their money in the best way possible. And we're not helping them if we're telling them that stuff is ready to burn or seasoned when it's not.
Chris says he trains attack possum.
No way.
He's a liar.
There's some really funny comments. It's killing me.
Ralph says Chris makes too much money. I think Chris should sponsor me a possum hat or a beaver hat from Kenny.
He says he's going to make you a live possum hat.
I don't want a live one.
Attack.
Jimbo, the Commanders, who was it? Detroit. Oh, remember the Minnesota Vikings? Detroit would give them the ball on like the 2-yard line and they couldn't score.
TJ Stonehouse, yes. Kevin is the main man. I can tell you for a fact, without Kevin and Gramp, I would not do what I do. Kevin and Gramp worked their ass off for me, and when I say we in the videos, I mean it. It may be my business on paper, but I can't do what I do without them, and it's a team operation. If we're going to do something different, or we're going to do a different process in the yard, buy new equipment, whatever it is, I consult with those guys first because it's a team effort.
That's what I do. I buy stuff and I consult with Rachel, telling her it's on its way.
Then why did she ask what's that in the yard when she came in the other day?
Because there was 100 metal pallets.
No,
Did you
okay.
consult first?
I
just
told her
wanna-
we got something coming. That's like similar.
Let me tell the story the other day. A Facebook Marketplace thing. Heath always likes to say, "Oh, I consulted Rachel. I asked Rachel." He doesn't care what I say. So I usually am like, "Why are you even talking to me? It doesn't matter."
And that
So-
means go ahead, buy it.
It doesn't. So he came
How
to me
does
and
it
he said there is this trailer he wanted to buy. It'd be perfect to store lawnmowers in or something. And then, what are you laughing at?
Chris's comment. The attack possums are crossed between Dover and possum and grizzly.
I'll take them out. I made a coat. Make a coat on them.
So
He's gonna shoot him with his bow and arrow. We just heard how good he
I'm
is with
better
that.
than I
Heath
was.
wanted to buy this trailer. He showed me the picture and I said, no, absolutely not. Do not. No, I don't want that in my yard. Don't buy it. And he goes, it's a really good deal. We need it. And
I'm
he
on
was
my way to
arguing.
look at it.
And I said, no, don't go. I consulted with the child who was by me. I said, what do you think? Should Dad go get this? And they're like, no, it's a hunk of crap. I said, exactly. No. And he goes, well, I don't care. I'm buying it anyways. And he left to go buy it.
I didn't buy it. It was
when
on for
he
crap.
says, oh, I asked Rachel, that's his ass.
Because you're supposed to tell me whatever you think, dear. You
That's
make
his
great
ass.
decisions.
I literally couldn't have been more clear. Absolutely not. And he goes, well, I'm going.
So there's another main viewer that's getting caught up with us, and he doesn't forget the Uncle Henry's either. That was one of the best publications ever made. They stopped it just this past year. I
Right.
remember when that thing used to be thick, and it came out every Thursday, Keith. So for you, it would be like Marketplace only coming on Thursday.
Why would
So
they
you
do
run
that
to the
to someone?
convenience
Oh
store.
my gosh, the
You
anxiety
run to
you
the
would have
convenience store on
Wednesday
Thursday
night.
morning, and you get there because they deliver them in the mail.
Lucky
the
for
problem
Rachel, I
is-
don't run much anymore.
Bill Irwin,
So you
you're a
get
bit
it,
drunk
You
tonight.
grab it, you look through, and you find the stuff you want, and then you use the back cover because it was before GPS and cell phones, and you write the instructions for where you needed to go to get to the person's house and a phone number. And you might have to stop at a store and call them. It was an adventure. It was like a scavenger hunt.
That's
for
what Bargain
junk.
Corner was like.
Yeah.
But Marketplace is up the ante. You got to be quick on the trigger. So Brian
Everything I
Shotliff,
find that's good's gone already.
because I got it.
I know. It's
So
crazy.
I literally am going Monday to pick up a plow for a Toro Dingo. Do I
So
have
they
a
think
Toro
that you're
Dingo?
just using your
Absolutely
phone to look
not.
for Marketplace finds while you're on the live.
Yeah.
No, I'm trying to see comments because our computer's too far away from
I
my
like
eyes.
that, how he just says he has a plow for a Toro Dingo. Do I have a Toro Dingo?
Well, that's what I
No.
asked when he told me because I thought it was like, cool, those
If
Toro
you-
Dingos would be nice in the firewood
If you
yard.
build it, they will come. I
It's-
bought my
it's a
first
good-
tractor before I owned
it's a good
property,
deal.
and then I got property.
I'm
I
sure
bought
it's
a
good
Toro
deal.
Dingo 48-inch plow with a hydraulic swing a cylinder for $50. I'm going to one day. I am going to transfer that. I'm going to fabricate with my welding skills and my grinding skills. I'm going to fabricate that plow to fit the BX 2200 four-wheel drive tractor that I have.
So it'll be almost factory.
It'll be
considering
better
you have
than
excellent
factory.
welding skills.
Because I'm going to consult with Bobby, and we're going to get this thing just straight
I don't
pushing
know. I don't know
snow.
if Bobby
Sorry,
wants
Bill.
to weld on your.
No,
project.
Bobby isn't going to weld. I'll weld. I'm just going to use him for some hydraulics knowledge. It's going to be a
I
snow
feel
pusher.
like you have to drink a bit, Bill, to make these live streams more fun.
The
Yeah.
live streams are
No,
fun.
Marketplace
Bill's
is cutthroat, David Peckham. If you see something and it's good, it doesn't matter what time
So-
it is. You need to comment.
Well, let's talk about this.
Bait Farms popped on.
No, listen, this is the legit story. This is what Rachel lives with every day. Marketplace is cutthroat. Yes, it is. So the other day, I pop up. I check my phone. Marketplace, 2001 Chevrolet Silverado.
Ooh,
It's a
I've seen that
3500 dually. It's a crew cab, long box, four-wheel drive, one owner.
thing. Shoo-wee.
got-
Tell me about it.
It's got a 3-year-old stainless steel buyer's
Get
8-foot
out.
plow on it.
Really?
$6,400. Brand new tires,
Did you
new
get it?
fuel lines, new brake lines.
Did he get it?
So I messaged the guy because it was like over an hour old. I'm like, there's no way this is still available, but it was close to me. So I said, hey, interested? I live in China Township. I can come right now. Where, like, because he wasn't far away. Here's my cell phone number. Because
See
then
you, Chris.
when
Thanks
you
for
have a
stopping
good
by.
deal, Chris, go get that possum. I need probably, how many you need to make a hat? But anyway,
More than one.
so I put my cell phone number in there
You got a
because
big head.
if you get a bunch of messages, it's hard to keep up with who's in line and all this stuff. So I put my cell phone number, phone rings, I answer it. Hey, you messaged me about my truck. Yep. I got so many messages, I can't keep track of them all, but I'd rather deal with someone local. I say, all right. I said, I'm interested. He says, when can you come look at it? I said, I can come look at it right now. I'll give you a deposit. As long as it checks out, I'll give you a deposit. I'll be back tomorrow with the cash. He says, I got several people that'll bring me full cash right now. If you can't bring me full cash right now, I'm going to have to go to someone else because I can't turn down full cash. I said, I'll give you a check for the full price. You can keep the check and the truck. I'll come back tomorrow with the full cash and I'll take my check and I'll take the truck. He goes, nope, I can't. I got to have the cash. I said, it's $450. I live 15 minutes from the bank. I literally said, I'm on my way. I'll let you know if I get to the bank in time. I leave the dogs out. I don't lock the door. I don't have a coat on. It's probably 10 degrees out. I am
out in
going.
a t-shirt.
As a rule follower, this was not easy for me, but I was obliterating the speed limit. I got to the credit union with 2 minutes to spare, pulled the cash out, messaged him, went. I got the truck, got it home. Next day, the batteries were dead. Next day, the trans lines went out. It's still a good deal. I knew it was going to need work because the last 3 years it's only been used as a. I don't need body work. I get chicks in rusted trucks. They like them. They know you're real. But
You got a
but you
shot,
gotta.
honey.
He had people willing to come from the Upper Peninsula. He had one guy say the guy because he told people, hey, this guy's coming. Blah, blah. They said he's taking advantage of you. You could get 10 grand for that truck. And he's like, I don't need them. This dude, he probably had $1 million boat in his garage next to a $500,000 camper. And when I say garage, I mean one of his multiple barns with offices in it and was cleaner than my house. So this dude didn't need the money. But anyway, I got the truck and I'm going to fix the truck and I'm going to drive
currently up on a jack right now in the driveway.
because I'm refurbishing something.
Next to the other truck.
So yeah, marketplace is cutthroat. You want to beat me to a deal, you better have cash in your pocket because I'll go fast to get it.
The thing that really bugs me is when you tell somebody that you're coming to look at something and you get halfway there and they
sell
call
it to
you and
someone
tell
else.
you they sold it.
I have literally gone.
Yeah.
John, I'm a hell of a grinder, John. Because if you ain't a good welder, you got to be a good grinder.
Yep, you got to pick one or the other. Gramp says so. So that's just the way that works.
TJ Stonehouse, it absolutely is. Because I see deals and I'm so excited. And I'm like, I'll literally be like, when can I come look at it? They're like, right now. I'm like, all right, what's your address? And then they ghost you. And the next thing is marked sold. I'm like, I literally was just in communication with you. Like, how did you sell it to someone that, like, it is?
That or you talk to somebody, you ask a bunch of questions, you work out the price, you're like all set and ready to go. You're like, okay, I'll be there tomorrow. And then they never respond back again, ever.
And it's gone.
And that really bugs me.
It is.
I lost a really
really
good deal on a dump truck like that.
Or you drive a couple hours. You drive a couple hours and they sell it right before you get there. Or the last truck I bought, the white Silverado 07, my son is driving now.
Yeah.
I literally drove a couple hours into Canada. I got there and the guy had scheduled someone behind me and they were supposed to come a while later. And I was out looking at the truck and they saw me test drive it because they were waiting in a parking lot for their time and they saw me test drive it. So then they came back and they're like, oh, you're home now. Because the guy told them I won't be home till this time. And I was in the middle of buying the truck and they hadn't even looked at it yet. And they're yelling out because I was working a deal with them and they just pull up and they're like, we'll give you this much more and we'll give you this much more. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, I'm like, I just drove over 2 hours to get here. And they're like, so did we. Like, and I ended up buying it. But I'm like, what are you doing?
Typically, I sell gently used items on Marketplace myself.
I don't sell much on Marketplace.
When I'm selling my gently used items, they're pretty desirable sometimes. Like the last one I sold was a gently used 2010 Ford F350 with a blown engine and transmission both.
Very gently.
And
how do you blow them both up?
It's
got a bad training, you just go for it.
Pretty much.
First gear, I can still go 70.
The 6.4 Power Stroke diesel is the worst engine ever created by Ford Motors, and I will stand by that statement to this day. And you will never see me have another 6.4 liter. But anywho, the guy that wanted it really bad, and I was like, I've got somebody in line for it already. I gotta let him come first. He's like, I'll give you 500 more. And I was like, no,
I've done the same thing. I will not.
I'll give you
somebody.
1,000 more. And I'm like, no. He's like, I'll come right now. He said, I'll give you $2,000 more for it. I said, no. I said, I'm not doing it.
I'm the same.
He showed
way.
up at my house because he already had my address with the money. He's like, look, I want to buy this right now. And I said, no. The other guy pulled in, and that guy's there, and he's like, what's going on? I said, nothing. I said, there's a truck. Do you want it or not? And the guy's like, I'm buying it. And I was like, you're second in line. You're going to wait. I thought we were going to have a fist fight over a junk truck with a blown motor and transmission. I'm like, it's junk, guys. It's junk. Why are we fighting over this?
I've had the same thing. Like, I'm selling something, and people are like, I'll give you 500 more. I'm like, no. I gave someone my word that they. Yeah. But what really makes me mad is when you give someone your word and you got more higher offers after, and then the person ghosts you and don't show up.
Yeah.
Now, that makes me mad. But I still will not. I will not. I can't say will not, because if you offer me $1 million more, I'm sorry, get first guy. $1 million is my limit.
You
probably.
can be sold for $1 million.
It seems like $1 million is where you can buy me at.
There's
the 7.3 IDI is not a bad motor at all, David Peckham. It's just really slow. It's
hey Zach,
sundial.
Zach, we're doing a live, bro.
TJ Stonehouse loves it. Cheering section, let's go.
All right, I gotta go see what he's ranting about. I'll be right back. Plus, I got to pee.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Jen. And those 7.3s are like a dime a dozen. You can rebuild them for $1,500 in your own garage with hand tools, as long as nothing too serious happens to them. But the 6.4s are expensive. I had over $17,000 into the engine alone of that truck in the time I owned it. It is not a fun engine at all.
Garth Evans had people fight in his driveway.
Yeah, no, it's marketplace is brutal. I just try to stay away from it because I always find things that I don't need, and I think I need them, and they'd be great if I got them, but I don't need them. I can get by with what I have.
I literally won't deal with marketplace for anything I want because I don't want to be bothered having to go to somebody's house. I don't want anybody to come. I won't sell anything.
Sometimes it's a little sketchy.
Yeah, I don't want to sell anything on marketplace because I don't want anybody coming here. I don't want to have to set up a time to meet you. I will, like, I see people post all the time, like, 2 shirts for $20. I was like, that $20 that I would get from that is not, I'm donating.
I don't like buying clothes off marketplace. I don't like buying used clothes anyway. I'm a little weird that way. I wear my own clothes, I guess. Because I don't know. I feel like if we're going to share things, I don't want to share whatever it is that you have. So
yeah, it's an intimate situation.
It is. So I stay away from the used clothes market. That's kind of somewhere I draw the line at, I guess. Now, used wood splitter, I'll play with the used wood splitter. I don't care whose wood was on it.
What about like well, okay. But what about like a used couch?
No, that's like buying a used mattress.
Used mattresses.
No,
but
absolutely
we
not.
all sleep on hotel mattresses and don't think
I
twice
know,
about it.
I think lots about it, and I'm not a fan of it. The worst sleep I get anytime we travel anywhere on vacation is a hotel, because the only thing I can think of is I'm laying on something so disgusting right now. I'm like, this is not
like
okay.
The blanket I'm cuddling up with that's touching my face hasn't been washed in how long?
Yeah,
That's valid.
Hotels are not, I don't appreciate them.
Hey Jerry, do me a favor. Well, wait, you like the adult market?
No, I don't. 2 Wheels and Barbecue. That was a one-time thing, and
Jerry,
it was a great deal.
I feel like I should pay Jerry to keep you off of there.
Jerry can't stop me.
Jerry, can we get like
so
something
the
at
glow
work
plugs
that
and the injectors in your 94
Internet doesn't
IDI are actually fairly cheap, and make sure it's not the glow plugs. Check the glow plug relay first. The glow plug relay is known to go bad in those. There's a pretty easy hack that you can do to put a toggle switch in on the dash to create your own glow plug relay, because it is hard to get to.
Jerry,
So
I thought we were friends.
2 Wheels and Barbecue. Why don't you come over? You can jump on the live.
yeah, bed bugs that's not what I worry about when I sleep on a hotel bed, but that's always a
Right,
always
that's
a
like kind
possibility.
of the last of my. I mean,
Yeah.
no, we do check for bed bugs first.
So I got a hotel
He has a
story.
black light.
I know you don't really believe that I have a story about this, but it's true, and it's true. Me and my buddy Drew to hunt in Shiawassee state land. It's not an easy draw. It's not as hard a draw as the federal. But anyway, so we go to the store, and it's called like this hotel. It's called like Randy's Motel, right? And so we get there, and the owner, the guy working the counter, his name is not Randy. But we're like, whatever, man. We check into the hotel. We go in there. There were probably no less than 10 murders committed on each bed. We pulled the sheets to look. They were the most vile, stained, disgusting mattresses I had ever seen in my life.
No, I'll sleep in the truck.
It was absolutely, like, it was worse than what people throw out. Like, absolutely disgusting. And the whole hotel was that way, but the mattresses literally looked like they had 10 murders deep in them. They were just disgusting. So we slept there, and then we went hunting in the morning, and then we didn't go back to Randy's motel.
Yeah, no. I used to travel a lot from my old job. I ran a commercial bakery, and we used to buy a lot of auction equipment from bakeries that had closed down across the country. We went to a little town in Georgia outside of Atlanta called Valdosta, Georgia, to a commercial bakery that made Oreos for Nabisco through a co-packing agreement. And the hotel that we stayed at, when we got there, we were a little confused because it was supposed to be a Fairfield Inn, I think it was. And we got there, and there's no sign. There's this big building that looks like it's empty, and there's 2 cars in the parking lot. But the address said we were there. So we went in, and it was the hotel. And when we went in, the lady's like, yeah, you probably don't want to stay here. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're the wrong color to stay here. She goes, if you stay here, your car's not going to be in the parking lot when you go out in the morning. And I'm like, okay.
They know what color you are by what car you drive?
Well, when we walked in, they knew what color we were.
I guess by looking at you.
Yeah, when there's only 3 vehicles in the parking lot and 2 of them look like they were expired 12 years ago, the rental car is probably going to be the one they're going after, I guess.
Yeah.
So that was an experience. I haven't been back to Valdosta, Georgia again. I can say for a fact that I'm okay with that.
Good night, Rick.
Good night, Rick, and you did great detective work.
Yeah,
Thanks for ruining everything.
Yeah, you ruined their
A
day.
for the day, for sure.
Brian said he had to sleep in an office chair one night because the bed was so nasty.
Yeah,
What do you think happened in that office chair?
So, Hearth Haven Firewood, look up the glow plug relay. Just put glow plug relay IDI not working, and it'll give you the wiring schematic to jump for that IDI. And you can jump it with a screwdriver, like Neighborly Homestead said.
Or I could weld you up a device.
Yeah, probably don't want to do that. But if you have a long enough screwdriver, you can reach down in there and you can hit that glow plug relay. You'll hear it click when you hit that with the screwdriver. And when that clicks, just time it, count it for 5 to 10 seconds, and then try it. If it starts, then obviously your glow plugs are all right.
Oh, we're talking about glow plugs.
You need to obviously go a little further into the system.
Robert knows what's going on in that office chair.
Uh-oh.
Foothills Firewood, it isn't easy because we have literally not stopped moving.
We had that birch series that showed up, and I really, you guys.
The birch is neat. It's cute, but it's a monster.
Neat doesn't count because
but
I've been dreaming. I've been dreaming about this green splitter for weeks now. Weeks.
But I've asked
and
Bobby
then Bobby
to build
told
that
me it's ready
for 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's okay. It doesn't matter.
Oh, they want you to take this live outside.
So it wouldn't last long. But anyway, that musclewood I've been dreaming about. And he's like,
Carl.
I want to run the birch. And I'm like, really?
And then he took the controls.
So I was like, all
I
right,
didn't even get to.
If he wants to run it, I'm running it first. So I hopped over and I started running the handle. I said, I've got you. But no, I want to run that thing. If we had lights outside, I got lights at my house outside.
We were complaining, last night. We're like, why can't it stay at light till 10 p.m.?
I know. If it was summertime, man.
There would have been a video last night.
Yeah.
This morning, I went to put wood in the boiler and I opened the door and I heard rain because I hadn't looked at it. I thought it's been freezing cold here. I thought, well, all right, if we get snow, that's fine. You can work in snow. You can work in rain, but it's probably the most miserable condition. You can't really film in rain. Like, you can't ruin your camera gear and have, it's just not.
Foothills Firewood says he knows you got some tower lights somewhere. So he must think you got some from Marketplace or something. He wants to see that musclewood.
I want to get a pair of those, the diesel engine powered generator tower.
Yeah, light tower. The kid that bought my firewood
Can you go on my
processor
phone
that
and
I
look on
had,
Marketplace?
he has a couple of light towers because he worked for a rental.
Oh my
company.
gosh, Robert just literally said that. Heath will be on Marketplace looking for used to light towers.
Chris Foltz wants to know where you can get Strike Hold at.
Strike Hold is from the. There's links. I can send you one. But it's if you use my code
You get free shipping.
HWM10, you get free shipping. And I'm telling you, like I said,
You
I
guys got
bought
codes. I got no codes yet.
I
gotta
bought
get codes
a
for somebody
5
so I can be a cool
gallon
kid, too.
bucket.
Yeah.
It's literally in my kitchen / dining room
It
because I
literally
wanted
is.
it to not get cold
Lay down.
because I have a project that I need it for. It's actually the conveyor, but there's links in our videos that I use it, and the last one I don't remember. But yeah, it's anyway, it's Strike Cold. Just Google Strike Cold and put HWM10. I don't know if that'll give me credit, but I don't care about the credit. But it'll get you free shipping. And they have a Marine, which is what my 5-gallon bucket is, the Marine. And I talked to the owner. His name is actually Bobby as well. And like I said, I like working with people. So I talked to this guy for not as long as I did Steve from sawsuppliers.com. But I talked to him for close to 2 hours, like just getting to know him and everything. And I asked him, like, because they have the Marine and they have the regular. And I was like, what's the difference? Like, is the Marine? He's like, we've tested it. The Marine is a slightly different formula, but it's pretty similar. Like, we just put that because either would work in the Marine environment. But if it doesn't say Marine, people don't realize that it will work in the Marine environment. So
Bill
that's why
Irwin
they have.
just brought up something that I forgot to ask Bobby about when I was at Allwood yesterday. He put lights on his 1222. I want lights on my Allwood. And I know that the Kohler has the output and the ability to do it. So I
will jump a bracket.
Oh,
Let's pull that thing in the garage and I'll fire
brand new
up the.
powder coat.
Yeah, I'll grind it off. I'm a grinder as well.
Help! We're not grinding on the powder coat. Not today. Maybe tomorrow.
I did get a Bad Dog Tools diamond cutting.
I saw that.
That thing's
I
legit.
looked those up, and when I saw what they cost, I didn't need one that.
Well, it's a lifetime guarantee, and I've met her.
But how does that work though? Do they resurface it, or do they actually?
No, they send you a new one. They say now because I researched them before I got it, and like the drill bits had mixed reviews, but one of the things I saw is that you got to run it in a high speed like impact versus a regular cordless drill. So I'm like, all right. So if people are misusing something or not using it per directions, and then they say it doesn't work good, well, you didn't follow the directions, which I don't read the directions, but I go by what other people said. So I'm like, I'll give them a try. And the drill bits were all right. The grinding wheel is what everyone has said they really liked, and I have.
That's what I was looking at because I've got so many different cutting wheels and things for my grinder. I was like, if I could just use one wheel
that cuts and grinds in it. And I've never used a real diamond one before, and they're not cheap, but that thing cuts circles around anything I've ever used before. So that I was impressed. And they claim that their lifetime guarantee is you just send it in and we send you a new one. If you break it, if you bend it, if you anything. But then I've read some reviews that are like, nope, they're this and this, so I don't know. The grinding wheel worked amazing. I haven't had to deal with the customer service yet, so I can't speak on that. But I mean, they've been around for a while. So
I saw that video on Hardworking Man. I follow their channel every once in a while, and I was like, hey,
it's a cool channel.
That looks all right. So I was like, I got looking into it, and I looked at the price, and I was like, boy, I'd really want to make sure it was all right first.
See, that's what I thought. And then I was like, you know what? I am more than willing to spend the money on a log splitter because it saves me so much time. And
this is true.
And in the long run, that thing will save you money because, the little abrasive discs are cheap, but you burn them up.
Right.
And like I had to cut the stuff off when I replaced that backhoe thing because they welded it on my tractor. Yep. And it took probably 5, 6, 7 wheels and a long time. And had I had this one, it would have taken way less time and 0 wheels, way faster. I was blown away by it. I'm not gonna lie, but they're not cheap. They're as far as a grinding wheel goes, they're an investment.
Yeah, I don't like spending money, but you're almost talking me into spending money on something like that.
I mean, you can try it. We'll go grind that powder coat off. He wants me to weld
Well,
a light bracket.
I can
on
do
this
some
muscle
grinding
wood.
on your birch series for you. We can put some lights on that. maybe.
You asked for lights.
Oh, well, I was just gonna help you
I
first.
know.
That way we can get
Brian,
it
what is
worked out
going
on
on with
yours.
those Lions?
What are they?
They
They're
just-
not getting smoked.
24-14.
What just happened? They were just
They
up.
just scored.
That's
They'll
not
be
good.
all right.
That's too bad. My New England Patriots are sitting at home on the couch, so I really don't care.
They won a game or two this year.
To strike cold work.
Yeah,
for
they won the
nonsense.
last game of the season to lose the
Wait,
first
no,
round
but-
draft pick. What a bunch of idiots. Why wouldn't you just lose the game and get your draft pick? That was
You
dumb.
play to win the game.
No.
Who said that?
No.
Allen Iverson.
That's
No,
wrong.
that was practice. You talking about practice, man?
Who's
not
play
the
to win
game.
the game?
I believe it was Jim Mora.
I think so, yeah.
I know
Yeah,
useless
I-
information for days,
I
but I
just-
can't remember my
Does
kids'
the muscle
birthdays.
wood come with a diesel also?
The musclewood doesn't.
The musclewood does not. The bloodwood is a diesel series, and we also have a diesel series in the hickory, I believe, and the vertical splitter will have a diesel as well. Musclewood is a 38 horsepower Kohler V-twin.
Oh my gosh, Doug, I do not need Heath adding to your good track
We do
record.
need an excavator. Rachel actually said we should get an excavator and a sawmill in her sleep. She talks in her sleep. And that's why I buy all this stuff. And then I'm like, how are you mad? You literally were like, she tells jokes too, and she thinks she's hilarious. Like she'll wake me up and she is just having a comedy session.
I
over
woke
there.
myself up the other day when he was gone.
She talks to
and
the dogs too when I'm
I
gone.
was talking to the dogs.
Yeah.
I was laughing and making
But she was
jokes.
like, you should go visit Doug, check out his excavator, and if you like it, buy one.
Doug's
And a
like,
sawmill
"Yay."
as well. So I think I would love to come down and visit you guys.
Yeah.
I can retire in just over 5 years. And when I do, we are going to go on road trips all over and just
Oh,
visit
Heath
channels.
I'm
cannot
not
say.
even retired, but I'm going to start taking road trips.
Well, we're going to do some, but when I am retired, I can, if it's not hunting
Okay,
season.
but you say that because your wife is not here. Heath
No,
will not road
she'll
trip
go with me.
without me. But what are you gonna do with
Well,
Russ?
who's going to do the tech support
Richard
if I'm
can
out
come.
there without
Richard.
you?
Richard
I
can
was
come.
gonna say little Russ. That's not his name.
I wanted to
What are you
name-
going to
I
call his
wanted-
wife, Mrs. Russ? Come on.
I wanted to name him Russ, and I was overruled. So
Amber,
he got named
little
after
Russ.
he got named after our grandfathers. So
He's Little
Richard is
Russ
my
to me.
grandfather's name,
You
and
can't call him
Boyden,
little
his
Richard,
middle name,
'cause that's
is
already taken.
his other grandfather's name. So I didn't get Russ, but I got Richard, so that's close enough.
Chris, the kitchen is underway, sir. And we are going
Thank
bigger
you.
than she
She
ever imagined.
Dreams,
She doesn't have to dream about it. It's reality, Chris.
not reality.
We got Christmas lights and
it's a
kitchens
process.
and mudrooms.
Hey,
She has everything her little heart desires.
Bill Irwin's got his moonshine and a sawmill.
Let's go.
Well, I say that's worth
Why
a
don't
road
I-
trip right there because I love moonshine.
Why don't I know where Bill is? Do you know where Bill's out of?
I don't know, but I'm gonna find out
Yeah,
now.
where they make moonshine.
Yeah, I like moonshine.
I feel like I should know, but maybe not. Maybe Bill won't.
Allwood
Be
is
mad
going
at
to
me.
be coming out with a vertical splitter. It is going to be called the Ironwood. It's going to come in about 12 different configurations.
Is one of them going to be a more?
One will be a more kind of entry level.
That's what I was trying to say.
So it has 2 operator stations on it. The entry level machine, you will be able to run one station or the other, and that's probably going to have a GX800 Honda, the big Honda engine on it. That's going to be the smallest offered version.
So it's a legit machine.
Yeah, it's still going to be a legit machine, but it's just not going to
Oh,
have the
Bill
bells
is-
and whistles.
that's right.
Top of the line, all the bells and whistles, going to run on a 62 horse Isuzu diesel, and it's going to be running twin pump systems. You'll be able to run all the log lifts independently, all the splitters independently.
And when he says log lifts,
Yeah,
they are built.
Yeah.
They're like a Yakta mower. They
Yeah.
are built.
I would dare say that the whole unit right now probably weighs 5,000 plus pounds, and there's no engine in it. So
So,
I'll
Doug,
run it,
here's the
Doug.
idea. I would love if Rachel could run that thing like my buddy, and Rachel would love it because they have heated cabs. So if you watch our video the other day when my buddy was
Wait.
running his Mini X, he was sitting in there in a T-shirt and 80 degrees because
Yeah.
he's all soft and stuff. I was
Yeah.
out in real feel 7 degrees in a T-shirt bucking logs, and Rachel was in full snowmobile gear,
Full
freezing.
gear.
So I think
Frozen
she should
toast.
have a mini X because then she could sit in there and operate while I'm out running saw.
A heated seat, Doug.
So Robert Palumbo, the vertical
man.
splitters all come with a conveyor. They all come with a detached conveyor. So that
like
is
it.
a standard option for the vertical splitters. David Peckham, you give me just a minute and I'll get your price on a conveyor. Let me pull up the website. These two can keep you entertained for a minute.
Rach, you should start a channel, Mini Triple X. And maybe someone will donate us one.
Yes.
She can run the sticks. Like,
It is a heated cab.
and a heated seat. Getting hot in here.
Oh boy.
See if that channel name's taken, Mini Triple
I
X.
will not do that. This is why people say you whore your wife out.
That's your channel. That's you.
Watch the replay.
Who's winning?
Lions touchdown.
So let's see here.
TD Lions, Chris says. What's the score? Score update.
David Peckham, 16-foot conveyor is $9,500.
That's what PA Trooper said. Trapper. He was way ahead of you, Russ. You got up your game.
Well, I was trying to figure out about Triple X at the same time. Wondering
I
what
got
was
him
going on. I was
distracted with
distracted.
that. Rachel's Excavator channel.
My brain operates on 2 or 3 primal functions, and that was triggered in one of them. So I had to listen and see what was going on.
American Country, a lot of people don't know about Allwood. And it's like I said earlier, it's not because it's not a legit machine. It's because, so when I bought my Allwood, like I said earlier, I found it on accident. And when I met Bobby and I saw his machine and I talked to him and his knowledge that he had, I told him, I was not a big YouTube channel at the time. I still don't consider myself a big YouTube channel. But I looked at his machine and I said, how have I never heard of you? He said, because I don't want to get big. He said, I started getting big before. I had to hire more guys, and I didn't love it. And, because Bobby is a no BS type of guy.
Nope.
And I told him, I said, listen, you're only going to have a few options. I said, once people find out about these machines, you're either going to have to get bigger, which he's gotten bigger. You're going to have to keep raising your price until you produce as many machines as you want to and still keep selling them, or you're going to have to tell people, no, you can't order one. I don't have any available. Right. And that is true to what has happened.
Yeah.
The more people find out about them, the more if you put your hands on them and run them, you will go, wow.
I got a feeling after tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of musclewood splitters that are going to get ordered. And especially after I stop in North Carolina, I'm still kind of blown away with all the people in North Carolina. Foothills Firewood's kind of got a little lineup of people that want to see it, but I have 5 other individuals in North Carolina that want to see that musclewood splitter because they're just waiting.
James, not only is Rachel potentially getting a mini excavator, but she's going to start a YouTube channel, Mini Triple X. I don't know what it means. It was her idea, and she thinks it's going to be a moneymaker. Like 3 excavators or something. I don't know what the Triple X is.
Hardworking woman, her first piece would be a mini excavator and a new vertical Allwood, and become the spokeswoman for Allwood.
In the bearskin jacket. Like not the bearskin, like a literal bear that I wrestled down with my bare hands.
Bear fur, not bear skin.
Fur, yeah, it's fur.
Bear
I took
fur.
his fur.
Ron Brooks, I see your comment. Doesn't matter if you got a cross-cut saw and an axe or not. You're still a woodhound. Doesn't matter how big or how small anybody is. We all fit in. We all make it work. So you're more than welcome.
Ron, I love your comments, and I know you've had some stuff happen lately. I just hope you keep getting better and keep grinding because that's what it's all about. And I have another guy. I don't remember his name. I'm terrible with names, but he is like, I thank you for your channel. I love watching you. He's disabled now and has issues, but he's like, now I can watch your channel and it brings me joy. So the Woodhound community that's what I love about this. Like it is different.
That's so true.
It's literally a community, and most people in it are great people, and they don't like when we went to Bunyan.
Maybe I could learn to run it with my feet.
When we went to, that could make more money.
Yeah.
When we went to Bunyan the first time and we were a new channel, brand new, we're like, nobody's going to know who we are. People won't talk to us, whatever. Nobody cared. They didn't care if you had a channel, how big your channel was, if you had $1 million splitter or you ran a mall. Nobody cares. Or if you just a guy came from Ireland this year that doesn't even do firewood.
Right. He just
to come to the show because he saw us, not us, but saw people on YouTube. And he's like, I saw you guys. I saw there's the show, and I'm like, I want to go meet these people.
Well, last year was
And he
my
hung out
first
with
year
us
at
all.
Bunyan, too.
He hung out with us at Easton Maid. Easton Maid took him out to dinner, or he took them out. What else?
I don't know.
He
just
was just there the whole time. Like nobody, it doesn't matter. But yeah, don't sign off, Ron. We're here. We're having fun.
That was the one thing that my wife was kind of a little bit shocked by. She doesn't do a whole lot of the firewood or YouTube stuff with me. She participates when I make her. And we went to Bunyan, and all these people were coming up, and like, oh, hey, how's it going? And, shaking my hand, coming up, and where's Gramp? Where's Kevin? And I'm like, who is this person? And why are they coming to see me? And now the channel's like tripled in size, and with all the stuff coming from Allwood, I wake up every day to emails and messages and Messenger, and it's like, holy cow, do you people not sleep? It's
don't sleep.
Well, not much.
No.
He's got too many comments to
I
answer.
work midnights a lot of times.
I like working nights.
I'll be up 2, 3 a.m. when most normal people aren't, and I'll jump on my break. Break. Hold up, on my break, I'll jump on Facebook real quick, and Russ's little light is blue or green or whatever color it turns. I'm like,
it's always on.
I'm like, hey Russ, what's going
James
on?
said that guy from Ireland came to see them working, so they weren't there.
Well, he had to settle for Easton Maid, hardworking man, and everyone else. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Winner.
Winner.
Doug, I wonder, you say if with the heated cab she could run it with her feet. I wonder if I had some guys after me.
You didn't say I could run it with my feet.
TJ Stone, you're absolutely correct. The working class is what keeps this world running. So
when I ran the Mini X, I was running it with my hands, and somebody was like, real experts run them with their feet. I wonder if dude just wanted to see my feet. I'm going to run a Mini X barefoot. My feet were rated a 9 out of 10 by what are those feet people called?
By Margie.
Yeah, but what are they called that do feet?
No, like someone who does
nails and pedicures and
pedicurist.
No, I got a 9 out of 10. I got good feet for a man.
What do they call that? She does nails.
She said I'm a 9 out of 10
because we were feet, and he pulled his
we were
feet
at a
out
campfire, and I'm like,
them.
"Oh, you're a feet person?" Like I got nice feet because Rachel thought my feet were wrong because my toes are all symmetrically perfect. And she's like, no, they're not supposed to be like that. And I said, you're wrong.
You just make stuff up for fun.
Why would I make this up?
Because that is a weird thing to say.
You're like.
Your feet are very symmetrical and perfect. That's wrong.
The little toe is the shortest and the big toe is the biggest. And you thought the big toe was supposed to come
Robert
back down.
Colombo says there's bragging rights right there.
I got good feet, man. 9 out of 10.
I mean, there's not many.
There ain't many 10 out of 10 out there with men's feet.
I have very soft feet because my feet never come out of my shoes or my socks. I do not walk barefoot because I have very delicate feet.
You think they're a 9?
No.
See, I got a 9.
An 11.
If people would pay to watch my 9 out of 10 feet, I'd put them out there. I used to be able. I showed Rachel.
OnlyFans, Doug. He's gonna retire at 50.
I can barely. Customs wants to know what you're doing for a career that you're gonna retire in 5 years.
I work in federal law enforcement.
Russ, watch out. Yeah, I know. If we gotta start showing our feet, we're gonna be in trouble. I'll
listen,
shut the live down.
I got more than feet.
I will shut it down and get out.
Don't get me wrong. It's hard for me to tie my shoes some days now because I'm losing my flexibility. But how I snagged this young lady right here when we was young, I could put my feet behind my head.
That was not a.
That's a party trick.
That's what they call an ick.
An ick, she tells me now. I thought that's what hooked me.
Nowadays.
I don't know why I thought that was a cool thing to show your girlfriend, but I thought, like, check this out, girl.
Well,
and you, like,
Robert Colombo, he's in trouble then because he's got his Crocs on right now. So
Crocs are nice.
Dang.
Dude, these Crocs, they're good and they got a good stock. Rachel bought it at cheap, and now it's gone down a little, but she's done really well.
Oh,
bad.
That is a bad visual. I don't know what I was thinking, Robert, but it worked. I got this girl.
I don't think that's.
How else I'm gonna get her? She was young, she didn't know, but still, I caught her.
That was probably it.
Yeah,
yep.
I was 16.
In the words of Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory, buzzing.
I do not. I have the opposite of a foot fetish.
No, she hates feet. Her dad used to make her try to massage them feet, and her dad got bunions and stuff.
He would just stick his toes in our face and be like, the whole pull my finger, we'd be like, pull my toe, and we'd be like, gross.
The pull my finger never gets old, though. It's just, that's great.
Bill, I ain't got no secrets. I'm a real dude. I'll tell you when I screw up. I'll tell you if I was younger and I used to put my legs behind my head to show off for my girlfriend. I don't know what it is. But if you want real, hardworking man is what's up. Because I'm not ashamed of myself.
No.
I'm ashamed that it's
Yeah.
hard for me to tie my shoes these days. Some days.
TJ Stone, I'm learning so many things tonight that I never knew, and it just
Are
Turns out we
questioning-
won't have any musclewood splitting videos tomorrow because Russ
Russ
is
is
leaving.
leaving tonight.
leaving under the cover of
He
darkness.
found a hotel with a 10 murder bed that he's gonna stay in
He
instead.
will be sleeping in his socks just in case anyone.
Right? Yeah, I don't want anybody touching my feet.
He was wondering last night. He's like, "Who's telling jokes in there?"
No.
It was Rachel to herself.
Somebody's walking the halls talking. Oh, that's just Rachel. Don't worry about
No,
her.
so when we went to your brother's wedding, right?
2 different times and within a month we stayed at a hotel. And one time I went to
I throw that
open-
indoor lock because women try to get in and capture me.
Yeah,
So
went
I have to. They'll
leave the
make fake
hotel.
key cards, so I got to
Sure.
do the indoor deadbolt.
Okay.
And I literally was trying to open the door. To
I
leave
wake
the
up and
hotel
she's
room.
banging the door against the little safe, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's
So
like,
wait.
"What?"
A big burly man like you is afraid of somebody coming in the middle of the night.
The women's they
women's.
flock me.
Women's, not singular.
No,
plural,
it's
but
it's
women's.
usually a flock of them.
multiples,
I think that's what
flocks.
they call them, flocks.
Yeah.
The women's.
But yeah, and then she tried to leave through the shower, and she just smashed her
Oh,
face
man.
straight into
Well,
the
because
shower.
I thought the
'cause it was a
bathroom was
clear
to
door.
the right and it was to the left, and it was a wedding, and I smashed, and I was like, I am now bruised, and it was just a middle of the night mishap.
And my buddy from work, he's like Rachel. He talks in his sleep, walks in his sleep. He at a hotel because he didn't do that locky thing, so he slept walk out into the hall with no clothes on. So then when he woke up in the hall butt naked, he had to hide in the stairwell, and he couldn't get a hold of anyone to get him a door key. So he literally had to go down to the front desk with 2 hands covering to get back in his room because he slept walk naked. Magoo.
Oh man.
Out into the hallway, locked out of his room.
Listen, there is a brand called Kizik's that are slip-on shoes that look pretty good. You might want to look into those too.
And then there's what are those other ones that everybody was wearing for forever? The Hey Dudes.
Oh, I'm not a fan of Hey Dudes.
I'm not a fan of Hey Dudes. The Crocs, the little rubber
I don't like Hey
bumps
Dudes.
on the bottom of the Crocs hurt my feet. I have delicate tootsies.
I don't like to wear Crocs barefoot, really, just kind of for
Yeah.
that reason.
I don't
Rachel.
like that.
Rachel got me a pair of Crocs for Christmas.
The wrong size.
They're a size, 9 women's or something.
They're 9 men's.
9 men's. I'm not a 9.
I don't know what
I
happened.
mean, my feet aren't. Maybe you thought because my feet are a 9 out of 10.
It was the internet.
But it's actually like a size 11 or
I ordered
12.
them in the car. It was just like
They
a-
look
It's a
bigger
woman's
online.
11, men's 9. I opened them up and I'm like,
yeah,
thanks,
that's
these
what
are
it
cute.
was.
Like,
Got the wrong thing. I tried.
Well, if you think that's good, Kevin wears a size 6 in men's. Try finding a men's size 6 steel toe work
That's
boot.
small.
I think we have a pair
That's
that were
smaller.
for. No, yours were bigger than
Well,
mine.
no, Kevin was
No.
buying
Zach's
women's
old
boots
pair.
because he
You
couldn't
got
find
men's.
I don't have a men's
boots that would fit him.
A
So
woman's 9, right?
I
It's a
got
men's
on.
6.
I
No,
don't
it's
know.
not.
No, it's not. So that'd be a men's
It's a men's
7.
7.5.
Yeah.
7.
Hold on. Yeah,
So-
you're probably right.
I
He
sent
doesn't
my
know these
expert
things.
shopping wife to Amazon,
Russ.
and I said, "Yep."
Right?
I said, "This
I don't
is
have
the
any
task that you have." I said, "You need to find a size 6 steel toe work boot." We were actually headed to Bunyan, and she goes, "Size 6? Who wears a size 6?"
That's a youth.
Because my 8-year-old son wears a size 7.
Yeah.
So we got online and looked, and we found some. And he said they're the most
Special
comfortable
order.
boots he's ever had.
That's because Amber's good at
And
shopping.
I'm like, yeah, I know.
She's
Trust me,
worth
I
her
know
weight.
she's good at shopping.
She
I've
said she
seen the
was.
results. The results are
She told
absolutely
us.
incredible.
Sleepwalking nude. Glenn, you did not go outside the building. I have not done that because I do not
Yeah, no,
sleep.
I'm not binding my feet. My feet are very delicate. I have very delicate feet. I'm not going to bind anything.
Mm-mm. I cannot sleep in the nude because I walk and talk in my sleep. I wake myself up almost every single night. Sometimes I'm standing up in the middle of the room and I go, where am I? And I have to say, go back to bed, Rachel. I have to tell myself that.
She made me chase down a demon on a unicycle one day and murder it before she would.
So
I'm like, no, there's nothing. She's like, yes, there it is.
I
Get it.
saw it.
I got up and I kicked his ass.
So my wife struggled with sleep for a while and had insomnia and stuff. So
Hey,
she tried
Conley.
Ambien when we were dating.
Oh, that's
That stuff
scary.
will mess you up. People eat
Yeah,
toilet paper
wow.
and stuff.
Y'all listen to this. So
Mhm.
we're having this conversation on the phone one night, and it was late. And I kind of thought it was weird that she called late because I had been over to her house already. And she's talking, and then the next thing I know is like nothing on the other end of the phone. And I'm like, I wonder if everything's all right. So me being a nice guy, I'm like, I'm going to go check. I get over there and I knock on the door and she comes and answers the door. And she's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, you were just talking to me on the phone. I said, the phone went silent. I wanted to make sure everything was okay. She's like, I wasn't talking to you. I was like, yeah, you were. So a few nights later, she wakes up in the middle of the night and there's something all over her pillow. And she's like, what the heck is that? Well, she had gotten up and got into the Nutella in the
Amber Heard.
Yeah, in the kitchen, and where she was sleepwalking, she wasn't half conscious, so she got it all over the side of her face and rubbed it all over her pillow. And I was like, all right, that's it, no more Ambien. I was like, you got to stop that. You got to find something different.
That's funny.
Rachel ate a box of Cheez-Its on the fire with her.
We don't know.
Pretty sure.
We don't know for
She
sure.
yelled at our son about it too.
Because
He's like, I don't even eat Cheez-Its.
I was the last one to go to bed.
I like the extra toasty Cheez-Its.
I do too.
Those are great.
If somebody wants to bring me some of those right now,
Yeah, that
I
would
would
be
not
great.
say no.
Yeah.
I was the last one to go to bed. There wasn't any food or anything out. When I came down in the morning, our son was sitting on the couch and there was a box of Cheez-Its on the firewood hearth. And I was like, why are those Cheez-Its just sitting there? Put them away if you're not going to eat them. He goes, I didn't get those out. I'm like, well, who else is up? No one. Well, I was the last one to go to bed. It had to be you. You had to have put those there. He's like, I didn't
I don't even
eat
like
them.
Cheez-Its.
And I was like,
I had a
wait a
dream
minute. I
was
had
eating
a dream
Cheez-Its.
I was eating Cheez-Its. I go, oh my gosh, what if I'm waking up during the night and eating food? That would be horrible.
Glenn Kent says he's a nude sleepwalker.
Yeah, see, the
And,
thing with me being a blue-collar workaholic is when I first started my business and went out on my own, I overextended myself big time, and I got into snow removal way in over my head and had way too many contracts and driveways.
Santa bat.
We had some really big storms in 2016. We had 2 or 3 2.5-foot storms right back to back. So I spent probably 11 to 12 days straight in a plow truck without getting out other than to fuel it up and maybe a half-hour nap here and there.
Mm.
And I found out that when you deprive the human body of sleep for too long and you keep poking the caffeine to it, strange things start to happen. I went about 3.5 days with no sleep whatsoever, just straight ahead plowing. And I remember sitting in the gas station parking lot with the truck in park with my foot on the brake, and I swore to God the truck was still moving. And I got out, and I still thought the truck was moving. And I was like, all right, something's not right. So I stopped, and the guy that was working for me, he come over, and he's like, you don't look so good. And I was like, I don't feel very good. He goes, you might want to take a nap. I was like, yeah, maybe. I got so tired that it physically made me sick. And it took me like 2 days to really recover. I slept
Sleep
for
will
like
kill you.
14
Lack of
hours
sleep
straight.
will kill you.
It was not good. So when you see these like special ops guys that go days without sleep because they're on sniper duty or whatever, I'm like, those guys are better than me because I can't do it. 3 days is my limit.
Bill Irwin said he ordered an MS-324. I believe that's the little skid steer split.
Yeah,
right?
that's a skid steer
That is
splitter.
a
Those
slick
are nice.
little thing.
Those are excellent for busting up rounds.
I think it would work good on my tractor as long as I could get the hydraulics to seal.
Colleen is negative 17 degrees in Saskatchewan.
It's going to get cold everywhere, so Colleen, it's probably going to get real cold up there.
I sleep next to the closet and woke up to find my wife emptying it on me.
When I was a kid, I peed in the vegetable drawer. My mom and dad had friends over playing cards. I walked over to the refrigerator, opened the door, pulled out the vegetable drawer, and just whipped her out. And they tried to get me. And I'm like, you do weird stuff when you're asleep.
Yep.
I think I was asleep when I put my legs behind my head to show off for Rachel. Probably sleep flexing.
I hope you were asleep for that. You can't even bend over to touch your toes anymore, so that went away fast.
I've never been able to touch my toes ever.
Oh, I could stretch like 9 inches past my toes.
No.
And now neighbor
Sarah.
Doug says when I customs, he says I need to get some slip-on Skechers.
When I was in high school, I was the quarterback, and our coach used to yell at me on a regular basis because he thought that I wasn't stretching. He's like, you need to stretch. You actually got. I said, I'm stretching. He came over and he tried to push on me one time to make me stretch further, and I physically did not move further than what I was moving.
I think stretching, I need to do it. I always say that. I stretched the other morning. I think it has a huge impact.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We should do yoga tomorrow and live stream that.
Yoga at the Hardworking Man.
Well, my wife and my sister-in-law want to do a firewood calisthenics video and put it on YouTube as a funny spoof because they did it once before thinking that they were funny. So at some point that will probably come across the channel, but I will put full disclaimer that it is not our regular day at work and this does not happen in the woodyard every day, but they thought they were pretty funny when they did it that one time. So there's some stuff like that. You got to have fun once in a while. It can't all be work.
That's right. We could do a wet t-shirt contest tomorrow.
It's a little cold for that, but
I'm scared.
whatever.
Yeah, that is a good point, Doug. He says the skid steer splitters tear up the ground from the constant turning. Well, I have a tractor. I don't have a skid steer, but an excavator is the ultimate tool for something like that.
Do you
But
sell these excavators and get money from them, Doug? Or you just like passing on a good
I think he
deal?
just likes cool stuff, and
You
he
just
likes
know
sharing.
that
He's like
people
me.
will love
He's like
it.
he finds something he likes, and he's like everyone should own one.
Yeah, the skid steer splitters are hard on the ground.
But I have an idea of how to run it differently. So if anyone wants to donate one and see my idea, I can't
You
tell
guys
you,
are
but I
killing
think
me.
it's a good idea, and it wouldn't tear up your ground.
31-21. Why are we letting the Commanders score?
Well,
They're getting
can't
lucky,
answer
big
that question.
plays. Rachel, your bedtime is set for 10:50.
It just went off.
Rachel, some guy just sent you a picture, and it's not of anything he should be sending you.
I did get one time.
Oh, she's a realtor through her real estate page. She got a
I
picture
got
of
quite a selfie, and
It wasn't a selfie. It was like
It was
what do they call that? Prince Albert or something. Little fella.
a little. It was a
It
little
wasn't a
fella.
little fella.
That's
It was
not
not a
little
little fella, and it was sent.
Say
It was on my
hello
website.
to my friend.
I
Say
opened-
hello to my little friend.
So I have a website for real estate, and then I open. It comes to my email if someone sends me a message, and I open the email, and I was like,
"Whoa, there!"
"Oh, what is that? Like who's?" And there's no face.
So you remember when we were
I
young?
don't know the username, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was so excited. I screenshot and sent to everyone. I was like, "Look what I got! Finally, my first. This is great."
And then everybody that walks in for the next 3 days, she's got the picture. Is this you?
Right? No, you're not as hairy.
Up to Something Outdoors just checked in. And if anyone has any interest in another side hustle, or he scraps a lot of boats, he makes our maple syrup. He just started a YouTube channel, and check him out. Up to Something Outdoors. But I never
Oh,
realized
Brian, that's crazy.
that like scrapping boats was a profitable. He gets boats for cheap or free, and then you end up with the trailers, and and I thought the other day, like an untapped market for steel for welding projects, like boat trailers, because you can buy them cheaper than the steel it costs to build them. But I have some pallet racking and stuff. I have some projects for, and with my welding skills, I mean, you guys aren't going to want to miss it. It's going to be good.
I can't wait to film it all.
Brian
That's gonna
Shotliff,
be
that wrapping the truck around a tree is no fun at all. I thought I put the entire town out of power one night. We used to plow the local Home Depot parking lot, one of our commercial accounts, and I stuffed a big 6-yard bucket loader
You're
into
still
a
here,
great big
Jeremiah.
snowbank, and when I picked the pusher up, every
What
light in
did she
town
like?
went out. And I thought that I had done it because I hadn't had much sleep. I got out and I inspected everything, and I determined it wasn't me, so life was good. But for about
You just left the scene,
Hey, that's
Yeah.
like us starting the fire at
and then California caught on fire.
But that's in California, so it doesn't bother with Bangor, Maine.
No,
Jeremiah, I thought you were on your way to get your maul and to bring your splitter.
I know. Is Amanda bringing carbless?
Yeah, and Carbless and Amanda. What's
Yeah.
going on?
We're ready. Yeah. Everyone I see, I'm like,
Hold on.
can you play?
Before I do a
Banter?
deal with you,
Wow.
let me see.
We would have to have a little more than that to be able to, because it wasn't just simply there. There was a lot happening. You would have to.
Oh, now you're going to try to get them there to see if the identification
I
is
feel like
legit?
that's the only way, the only proper way. You can't tell otherwise.
Hold on.
You
We
can-
got to do this different.
I don't know if that's him or not. Can somebody...
Where's the fluffer? There's got to be parameters.
Yeah, we're still rolling, John. We don't know when to say quit,
We don't stop until we stop.
right?
You don't know when it's going to be, but we're going to be up. I bet you me and Russ will be up
Yeah, we
Not
both
before
were.
too long.
We both were saying we were really tired. I had like 5 hours of sleep for 2 days, and
So,
I probably
like,
had similar.
Heath was like, "Yeah, I haven't slept either. I'm gonna sleep in for a long time." I was up answering messages and all that stuff this morning, kind of laying in bed, and Heath texted me. He's like, "You don't gotta be quiet. I'm already up." And I was like, "Oh, all
Well,
right."
because you know when you're at someone else's house, if you get up before anyone else, you don't want to get up. So I'm like, hey,
Well, I got a log splitter outside, and I know where the chainsaws are. I'll
right?
just go
But I'm
start
like,
cutting
and
wood.
I do that sometimes. People are like, oh, I can't believe your wife lets you do that. You don't hear much
No.
inside this house if people are outside.
I've really got to listen when Gramp comes to the house. I gotta like strain my ears to hear the chainsaw because our house is insulated really well.
But we got
And-
6-inch walls insulated, and it's a brick house. Like
Yeah.
we'll have people deliver stuff or try to
Never even
deliver
hear
stuff that you need to sign for, and you don't even know
no,
they're
we
here.
were seriously sitting in this room without a TV on, and a truck came to drop. I don't know what we were getting delivered, but we were waiting for the truck, and we didn't even hear it until they knocked on the door. It was.
Yeah.
It is highly insulated.
I
He looks
always
like
kind
toast.
of.
I am tired. I ain't gonna lie.
Jeremy.
I always grin a
Jeremy,
little
what's
bit
that
because I
Jeremy
can
guy?
hear what saw Gramps running from the house.
It's gonna be.
I'll know which saw
It's
it
gonna
is.
be an Echo CS 501P ported
He
soon.
looks
Yeah.
like toast.
I got to get one of
He
those. He's
fades
gonna love that.
fast. I
Comes with
know.
age
I've thought
when you get
about ring
older.
cameras, Jeremiah, but Heath would use it against me. He'd be like, "Where are you going? What are you doing?"
Where you going? Why you out so
My
late?
Why are you
parents
outside?
my parents got a ring camera and didn't tell me. My parents don't do technology, so I'm walking over to their house, and then all of a sudden I'm like, my dad calls me boy. So whenever I go over, he's like, "Hey boy." So I'm walking up the walkway, and there's walkway is steep, it's paved, and I'm walking up, and then all of a sudden I hear, "Hey boy." So I turn around, I'm looking, I'm like, he goes, "Haha, I see you," and I'm like, looking, I'm like, what the heck is going on? And he's like, "Look up," and I look up, and there's a ring camera. I'm like, since when did you care about technology? He goes, "Too many strange people in the world now." He says, "Door's unlocked." He goes, "Help yourself." I'm
Okay.
like, okay.
I got another PSA for you because Doug just made me think of it. He says Skechers and driveway alert. So
Night, David.
My
Appreciate
brother
you
has a
stopping
driveway
by.
Oh,
alert.
Jeremy the sniffer.
my brother has a driveway
Oh.
alert. Hold on, I got a good story.
Jimbo's saying maybe that picture was sent from Jeremy.
We have never ID'd Jeremy that I know of.
Do you want to be the man in charge of that, Jimbo?
But so anyway, the driveway alert, my brother has one, lives in the country. His neighbor got robbed when they were building all this stuff. But anyway, my brother doesn't play. He's got arsenal to protect himself. So his driveway alert goes off, right? It's 3:30 in the morning. And then so he's up in his underwear with a bullpup shotgun and he's ready to defend the homestead. And then someone's coming up to the door like, oh my gosh, they're going to come right in my house. So being proactive, he whips the door open, underwear, bullpup shotgun, boom, ready. And the lady just freezes, hands up, Amazon delivery. You ordered same day delivery. And my brother still does it. He does it. He drops the gun down and he's like,
what are you doing in my
he's
house?
like, what are you
3
doing here at
a.m.?
3? You ordered same day. We start delivering at 3. And
He thought
so
it was fake.
he thinks, oh, they're sending up somebody to scout the house and see if anybody's here. So he's not letting down on this thing. Like he's like, walk forward 3 steps, release the package and back up. And like this lady's just like, he goes, she probably quit later that day. Like he was. And then another time he had the same different scenario, but driveway alert. Boom, it was somebody pulled in. He went out and they get him. So he gets himself on his security and ring cams, tactically maneuvering outside. Like, and he's not necessarily he's not a physical specimen like myself.
Jonathan, yes, he is.
I feel like he has a frog butt.
If anybody ever breaks into my house in the middle of the night, the last thing that they're going to see is probably the first thing they didn't want to see. And it's going to be okay with me because the door lock is not for them. It's for me.
We do need, I keep telling you that I should just order it. I do want an alarm at the end of the driveway. So if anybody breaches that drive, I hear a ding or whatever. I do want that. I don't have any desire
Especially
to
with
have
a longer
cameras.
driveway too, because
Yes.
they need to have a reason to be coming in. So
That's what I always say. If you come to my house,
Rachel, you would
intentional.
disable that thing pretty quick because Amazon lives here.
Only for you.
So it's like my house too.
It wouldn't bother me. Then I would know they were here. Then we would never have to sit here and have to open the app because we're too lazy to go outside and see if there's a package
Yeah,
out
Well,
of
we
it.
have
Send
two
them
different
like
doors,
Brett.
and we use one, and they deliver everything to the other door. Everything to the wrong door.
To the door we don't use, so then we have to walk.
Well, I have guard
Down the
pugs,
road.
so it's okay. They
Right.
bark at anything that moves or anything they
Our
thought
dogs
moved.
don't even hear the Amazon.
Oh
here,
no, our dogs
period.
hate the delivery people and the mailman.
I don't know if this is good or bad. Santa Batch says Mrs. Santa Batch is going to find you a wheelchair for the last 10 years, and she got up just to change our channel, like to turn
Right,
to our
Clarence.
channel or to turn off our channel.
Well, he commented, so it couldn't have really been.
I mean,
Did he type the comment as she was wheelchair rolling over?
I
Or
don't know.
no, don't turn it off.
Well, it's
Oh,
a
no.
miracle she's walking again.
Hey, this
That's
is
what he's
weird, though.
saying. We were that bad. You're welcome.
He didn't. Jimbo all of a sudden doesn't speak English when we say he's got to be the one to identify the picture.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the range is on those, John. I don't know how far the Ring camera's at. I think it's going to be hooked to your wireless network in order for it to work right. Well, Foothills Firewood just sent me a link for you guys. He's got a half-mile radius driveway alarm that he uses because he's got a long driveway. So
Ours isn't a half.
Well,
mile.
we live
Ours
in
is
the-
like 2/10 of a mile.
We live in the country, and the neighboring property
you
is
live beyond the country. I followed you out here. I live in the country.
well, it's a vacant
really?
40-acre lot. It's wooded 40-acre lot that a lumber company started on. Well, one day Rachel's driving the kids out to the end of the road to get on the school bus,
Oh yeah. That's
and there's a
wild.
dude with a shotgun and camo that
hiding
like
behind a
hides
tree.
behind a tree, and she's like texting me like, "Hey, this guy's out in
There's
our
some dude
driveway."
hiding behind a tree at
He
the
was a
end of the
turkey
driveway.
hunter, and he was on our property. He shouldn't have been, like, whatever. But then the other, probably
He
last
said
year,
he was trying to hide going around the tree so he wouldn't
scare
me.
you, but he scared her more.
I was like, the fact that
You're
there's
gonna
so
get
many-
shot, guy. But the,
That's-
like,
Now I'm a CPL now.
That's one of
Watch
the
out.
biggest pet peeves I have about having a business at my house. I have people that will just show up and they think because the business is there that they're invited there anytime that they want,
Mm.
which I don't have any problem with visitors. Don't get me wrong.
But
Visitors
your,
are fine.
Your wife doesn't necessarily want to.
But if it's Sunday, most normal businesses aren't open on Sunday, and you probably shouldn't be climbing on top of the log pile and looking around, snooping
you
around.
gotta see if you got good wood.
Yeah,
You
well,
don't just want any wood. You want the good wood.
yeah, you're gonna get the good wood if you're snooping around on a wood pile on a Sunday afternoon. So
I went out to fill the
Oh.
boiler at about 11 at night, and I see and hear people out in my woods with lights, and I'm like, oh man, and they're coming towards my house. Well, I'm like, they don't know I'm out here. They don't expect me to be out here. I'm like, what's going on? So me being me, I'm not, I'm gonna figure out what's going on. And so I
gotta
wait
investigate.
as they get closer, and I have a loud voice, and people say I'm intimidating. And so then as they get close enough that I can make them out, and I do have
hard.
I do have my
You just have
firearm
to do
with
things.
me, and I'm, hey, what are you doing? Scared they were just coon hunters that got turned around, and they were friends with the neighbor, and the neighbor was sick, so he didn't go with them, or he would have known where so now they were so scared that now every time that they're going to be out there, the neighbor texts me, and I'm like, they're fine. I'm fine with them raccoon hunting on my property if I know they're there. When I don't know someone's there and I see lights and stuff out in my woods, we could have a potential issue.
Trash pandas is my spirit animal. If I ever get reincarnated, I want to be a raccoon for sure.
You don't want to be a raccoon by me because I'll get your
Oh, no.
little paw in a trap.
You ain't gonna get me.
I'm going to get you.
Nope.
Yes, he used to trap him, and then
Yeah.
I had to shoot him. It was
She was going to stab one with a steak
because
knife
it
one
wouldn't
time.
die with that whatever gun you gave me.
So
A
It just kept
22.
flipping it and flipping it, and
I
I was
think-
like, "This gun isn't killing
It's a
anything."
22. I feel like we could
He's-
get canceled for this. She's joking, people. She's joking.
And it was a dream.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she dreams vividly about
Dreams.
things. It's joking.
To answer your question, Doug, this is how I got my license. So you have to take a class. I think it's an 8-hour day. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep during his videos that you have
No,
to
did
watch.
not. No, you
And
did not. You paid great attention.
Yeah.
paid
Yes.
full attention during
Full
that.
attention.
There was
Undivided
there was a
attention.
workbook, and there was a test at the end, and then you just have to shoot How many rounds? I don't know.
I
20
took my
rounds, maybe.
CCW when I was 18 years old.
You have to bring your own
21
gun.
years old.
I don't
Yeah,
know
you'd
if
be
you have
21,
to bring
right?
your own
I
gun.
think 21.
You have to be 21. But
That
you shoot a few rounds. The
23
instructor
years
says
ago, and she's asking me questions.
you're good. And
You
then
don't remember what you had for breakfast.
he doesn't. You have to go to the
We
county
didn't have
clerk,
breakfast.
Yeah, we did.
apply for your
did.
permit.
It took me like 2 hours to eat. We're talking to each other. You're talking to them.
No one's listening.
Yeah, they are.
And
They're
then
all are. You got 102 people.
after
103
you-
now. You gained one.
After you apply for your permit, you go get fingerprinted at the sheriff's office. You have to make an appointment because those ladies don't mess around. They're not very nice. And then
It's
after
only
you're
10:03.
fingerprinted,
Yeah, that's early.
you're good.
If
So
we
it
were
was
in
like
Maine, it's
$100
3 hours
for the
closing.
permit, $12
2
for
a.m.
fingerprints, and then they mail you your license in the mail. It just took
If
me
we
like
went
3
another
years
3 hours,
because I
we'd have
don't
the
like to do
longest
multiple
lives.
steps.
No, the longest live that I know of was Iron and Oak Sawmill.
I don't know. I don't watch them.
Well, they don't.
They don't.
Chuck passed away, unfortunately,
Yeah.
like a day or two after the live, but they did like a 9-hour while they were driving,
Oh, yeah.
and it was.
I'm surprised you didn't go live when you were driving,
It was
but you
8 or
can't
9
read
hours.
anything. So
The problem
Yeah.
with going live when you're driving is
It's the service.
around here you can lose service or get choppy.
Well, I was trying to talk to people on the way down here to try and keep myself
I
awake through the
messaged you
night,
a
and
few
that didn't
times.
work.
I'm like,
Yeah.
that's probably not a great idea.
It's all good.
But I
was
couldn't
awake.
talk because I was on my break at work because we're not allowed to have our phone unless we're on our break.
Yep.
Which we don't really get break. Strike that from the record.
Money Pit Homestead, hello, welcome. 3 hours in. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
I was open carry. I
kicking.
know. I go like Michigan. You can open carry without a permit, but no one does.
Maine, you can too, and I do on a regular basis just because it's fun.
But if you have
it
a
really
concealed,
triggers people.
if you have a concealed weapons permit, I believe you. I don't know. There's weird laws, but open carry people don't understand, and it scares people, and people call the cops, and like it's just yeah. But it is. I'm a law enforcement officer, and people think law enforcement officers don't want people to have guns. If you have a gun legally, I prefer everyone would have one.
Yep.
If you're competent and it's legal, I prefer everyone have one because then the bad guys they're gonna be less bad because they ain't gonna know what's coming. I personally detest gun-free zones. Like, I
Sitting
think they're
ducks.
terrible. Yes. Because the law-abiding citizens that are gonna, if someone's a criminal, when you have a sign up that says they can't bring a gun in, they really don't care. So the law-abiding citizens that could defend themselves do care, and then they can't defend themselves. I think it's a terrible thing in the most part. Well, that's just me. In Michigan, I don't know that I've ever seen anyone open carry. And when anytime anyone does, it ends up on the news because it's whatever, cops are called and people don't understand the laws and yeah. Yeah, I don't unless I'm going to be drinking, I rarely am not ready to take care of my family. We'll just say that.
I can still have quite a bit to drink to take care of my family just fine.
See, I can't because of my job.
Yeah, because of your job.
I could get in bigger trouble.
I've always said for the entire amount of my life, I have no problem with the color orange whatsoever. You do what you got to do. Family is family, and you take care of family. It doesn't matter. That's something
night,
that I
Robbie.
think's gotten lost through translation.
Clyde, Rachel's EDC, because with Rachel being a realtor, that's why I really wanted her to get her permit. I actually have taken it over because, like she said, it took her 3 years to complete getting her permit. But it's actually what's called a switch gun. It is absolutely awesome. It's a 5-shot revolver, 22 mag, and it closes down and looks like a cell phone. And it opens like a switchblade or a switch gun. And obviously, you're not going to be doing any long range shooting, but if you're going to be involved in something,
10 feet of us.
it's going to be close, and most people miss, including highly trained law enforcement officers, because the adrenaline, the everything of it, the noise, all of that, like, and obviously, if you get in a gunfight, you want the big, yeah, but you're not going to have a 50 cal Desert Eagle. You're not going to bring it with you. You're going to leave it home. So you want, yeah.
Something
If I
small.
knew I was going to get in a gunfight, I'd bring my Super Red Hawk Alaskan 44 mag with a 2.5-inch barrel. But I'm not going to bring that thing everywhere. But a small gun like a car MP or not MP9, LC9, or that switch gun, stuff that you can carry and not know you're carrying, but you know you got it. That to me is more valuable because you're going to have it more often than you won't. Oh, where'd Rachel go? She left us.
Yeah, I don't know where she went. Yeah, that's true, Ken. If you know you're going to be in a gunfight, don't go. That's not a good place to put yourself. But
No.
if
Yeah, you don't want to be in one.
the whole point is to avoid conflict at all costs, but that's a last resort to have that there, and that's why you have it. And nobody wants to get into that situation, but when it comes time, if you are carrying it, you have to be prepared to use it, and that's one of the things that you're trained and taught when you have that.
And being in law enforcement, like I don't ever want to use my tools, and
No.
luckily I haven't ever had to. I've had to go hands-on, but I've never had to use my tools.
I prefer hands-on myself. There's something more fun about hands-on.
Well, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of stuff can be handled through talking correctly.
Yep.
I
Absolutely.
could get involved in way more altercations, but it's way easier for me to just understand people and handle it through common sense, I guess you could say. And not everyone's that way. There's some people that are what you call badge heavy and whatever, but I'm
Communication.
a lover,
is key.
not a fighter, and I have been in situations that with certain officers would have ended in completely different ways than when I am involved.
Yep.
Like, and that's different than personal defense and all that. It's it's two different worlds, but yeah, you don't always have to. You can usually get out of. I mean, there's sometimes when people have their mindset and it is what it is, but a lot of times how the situation is handled affects how the situation ends.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's kind of goes along with anything, really. It's not just in those situations. When you have a situation that's gotten escalated and becomes heated like that, it's being able to diffuse that situation and calm everything down that makes the biggest difference. Because it's so much easier to ramp a situation up and continue it.
And when I've had to come into situations that were getting ramped up and then unramp them up, and you have to a lot of times remove one of the people that is a cohort. It's tough. It's not an easy thing to do, but I don't know. I think I sort of come by it naturally, but not everyone does. Not many people do. I don't.
That was one of the things in my past and previous job. I had 300 employees, and most of our employees were lower income, harder situation employees that struggled with normal society and the way normal society would operate, whether it be through substance or
substance is
other
huge.
issues.
Substance is the one thing you can't talk out of people.
And the one thing that I heard more than anything in the 13 years that I was there is you never get excited. And it's true. I didn't. Usually
I get excited with the musclewood coming to the yard,
Yeah, well,
but I don't get excited about much
different.
else.
But when things escalated,
deer
I usually
excitement.
calmed down. The hairier the situation was, the calmer I got. And people always thought it was weird, but I told them, I said, you're not going to run to a gunfight. You're not going to run to a problem. You got to address the situation. You got to have a plan when you get there. Because if you just run and there's no plan when you get there, you didn't do any good. And that was always something that kind of stuck by them. We had a few situations in the time that I was there, and they were like, we can't believe that you were just so calm about it. And I said, you're not going to change the outcome by being excited.
You got to
keep your head about it.
It's not easy, and that you don't know what you're going to do until it happens.
Yeah, some people just can't do it.
You can have the best intentions, but
Yep.
until you're in situations, you don't know what you're going to do. And training is good, but it's not the end all be all.
No, and there are a lot of people that even with training, it's still not enough
Yeah,
because
there's some people
it's
you're
just
not gonna-
personal makeup and the way a person is.
Ken, you're right that there are bad people in every profession. You go to Walmart, there's going to be some bad dudes. You go to the top of whatever, there's going to be some bad dudes. Like it is. I mean, it's just people. There's people everywhere, and people are people.
Yeah, Uncle Den, that's exactly right. You know, verbal communication can be just like personal judo. It's all you need to contain a situation and keep it at bay. But yeah, so haven't had to physically restrain anybody or use firearms or anything like that with firewood. Not yet, anyway.
No,
I've
but
had
this stuff's
some-
getting valuable. We make the nicest firewood out there.
I will tell you, when I've been cutting in the woods and cutting timber, I've had some very irate landowners, and I've had some very hairy situations in the woods where I have had weapons pulled on me. And being in a skidder and working in the woods, I didn't have anything with me. That was when I really wished that a chainsaw was a lot further distance weapon to be holding. But yeah, there's been some serious situations in the woods and by yourself.
I've had, because I have a deer tracking dog, so you'll track deer, and I always tell whoever I'm tracking for, it's your responsibility to tell me where I can and can't go. And with cellular cameras, it's different. And I own property, and I don't like people being on my property. And I haven't had weapons pulled on me, but I have had people coming yelling at me irate, and I'm like, calm down, and I'd take care of it, and it always ends well. But it's not a fun situation because you don't know what that person's going to do.
Right. Yeah, my buddy Johnny, he works in the woods. He's actually cutting some really nice firewood for us right now. He said he carries his 9 in the woods with him. But he's got a mechanical logging crew, so he's in a cab. He's got a lot better place to keep something. When I'm in a cable skidder, I'm not going to holster carry something in the woods, and I'm not going to be running around with it in the woods because It's just not smart.
No.
So, but yeah, no, I found that landowners can be very, very interesting, especially older landowners that may have old tax maps that they think are better than the new tax maps that you have. And it's just, you got to be careful. You don't know what's going through somebody's head, and you got to address every situation and really assume that it's going to be dangerous, whether it is or not. And, it's something you wouldn't think you'd ever have to deal with being in logging or forestry or firewood or anything.
Right.
I always carry when I go do deliveries. You never know where you're going to deliver to.
You know what's crazy to me? I work with a guy whose buddy's a lineman, and like we here in Michigan, we appreciate linemen because we know, like when the storms hit, it's the linemen that get your power back. So when storms hit certain places and these linemen mobilize and they go like plow truck drivers, they're going to work. They're doing their best to restore everyone's power. This guy, and when you mobilize as a lineman, you can make some money.
Yeah,
this guy
it's good money.
Refuses to go to the state of Texas because for whatever reason he has been threatened. Linemen have been murdered. It is very good money, and he refuses to go. Like, that to me is crazy how it's like, because people are mad that they don't get their power back soon enough. That just doesn't make sense to me. But
so is your Echo a 501c or a 501p, Brad's asking?
A 501p. I don't know why I said C.
Yeah.
I don't think they make a C.
No, I don't think so either. So
And if you get it on sawsupplier.com, it's probably going to be a
10%
very competitive price. And if you use HWM 10, I got links to it in my video I posted, the second video I posted today, but it's free shipping. And I'm not joking when I say, not ported, it's a good saw. Ported, it's a great saw.
that thing's an animal.
It
for a little saw. I'm a big guy, and I laid on that saw today. You can't stop.
It runs. It runs.
I really, really drove that in the open.
And yes,
you can't stall it.
Dino Joe ported it. And yeah, if I said C, I don't mean it because I don't think it exists. So yeah, 501p.
Good night, 515 Homestead. Appreciate you stopping by.
Bill Irwin, bouncing is a tough. We had last year, I believe, here. It still hasn't been, I guess, solved or closed. It was a bar fight that ended with bouncers and unfortunately ended in fatality. And it still hasn't been. A lot of people believe the bouncers were to blame. But being a bouncer is something I'd never want to do because
I did that for 3 years. It's not fun.
it's not fun, and I don't know what your actual
You have no
legality.
no legal rights to do it.
You don't like bouncers. From what I know, a lot of bouncers rough people up. You can't legally do that, as far as I know. I've never had. The only thing I do with bouncers, if I'm out at bars and I've been drinking, is I will most likely pick the biggest one and challenge them to an arm wrestling contest. And mostly they will back down. And if they don't, they beat me. But they think if I challenge them that I must know, and they're like, they'll either make an excuse or they'll just flat out be like, no. Like if you're coming challenging me, I'm not interested in it. But it's just something fun I do because I pick the biggest one too, and I'm like, let's go. You know, I just have fun with it. But Rachel, have you left us?
No.
I mean, you have. Rachel says she hasn't left us.
She's our technical support. We don't know how to do this without her, or at least I don't, because I use my phone. So do the guys that port the saws port the ones you already own, or do they port
Both.
them and then sell them? Both. It depends on who you deal with. So there are some guys that will buy brand new saws, port them for you. There are other guys that will port what you have. Most of the guys, if they're porting what you have, they want a new saw. If it's not a new saw, they're going to they're going to put a new piston and cylinder in it if it's been used for any substantial amount of time.
And I will say there are, and I learned this because, and I share stuff with people, and I won't say who or what or when because I don't have proof or whatever, but I personally prefer to deal with somebody like, say, Dino Joe, or somebody that you know and can talk to. Some of the companies that have gotten bigger and have built a name and a whatever, they're not even doing their own work because they got so big. They are farming it out. And so you're paying for something because porting saws is an art, in my opinion.
It is.
You can do it right, you can do it wrong, you can do it good, you can do it bad. So you're sending your saw thinking that you're getting this because their name has been built on it, and somebody that is not anything affiliated with them is doing the work, and you don't know that. I mean, that's just my opinion. I would rather bring mine to someone like Dino Joe or to some of these actual builders who are doing their own work.
There are guys out there that specialize in certain saws. Like I know Super Dave's Outdoors. He's a fairly new channel on YouTube, but he was a 10 or a 12-year master Echo certified technician. And he has seen every Echo machine and every problem that they have. He's got timing and port numbers and degree marks for every saw all set up depending on which way you want it set up. He does a really, really nice job. But if you send him a steel, that's something completely different. He's not a steel guy. So Echo saws, that's one of the better places to send them.
Jimbo wants to know what kind of warranties all wood has. And I know like the Birch is a 3-year frame. I think they're all a 3-year frame.
All wood machines are 3-year frame warranties. So any of the welded components on the frame are 3-year warranty. All of your engines, hydraulic components, things like that are manufacturer warranties. Most of your engines are a year. Most of your valves and things like that, I believe, are either 90 or 180 days. But it depends on where they're coming from.
What do I got on that 501 at 18?
Yeah.
18-inch bar clad on the 501, and it's currently, Russ knows more about this stuff than me.
It's running a 325 chain, 18-inch bar.
3/8.
And with it being ported, I think I've convinced Keith that he needs a 3/8 chain. We'll change the rim sprocket and chain on it, and that'll let it bite a whole lot harder. So with that ported saw, that'll just make it cut better. You won't have to lay on it. With the bigger chain, you'll be able to just let the saw pull itself down through the wood, and it'll just be that much faster.
Santa batch, I bet that was interesting. I bet.
Dude, what are y'all talking about? Somebody, Bill
Santa
Irwin was a bouncer.
Santa batch says his celebrity son is 7'6". That's a big boy.
Wow.
And if he's 7'6", he probably ain't. Usually, if
Santa
you're
batch
7'6", you're a big
he's
boy.
6'6". So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6'6" is not small.
Yeah, my wife's side of the family, her uncle is 6'10". He's in the Maine Baseball Hall of Fame. He could have probably went to the majors, but he had trouble with his arm. And he's one of the smaller ones on that side of the family, surprisingly. So there are some big people around, that's for sure.
Well,
I'll tell you what. You didn't say
Boonville, when we were
I told Russ this
Boonville,
earlier.
We were like, "What? This is the
Land of the
giants."
12-year-old kids are like 6'8", 320.
Even our boys were like, "Why is everyone so big around here?"
Yeah, it's weird. You travel different places and the size of people changes. It's
well,
really
even
strange.
in Michigan here, we grew up on the west side and we moved over to the east side. Well, west side is a lot of Hollanders, like the Dutch, and they are tall. They're blonde, blue-eyed, and tall. Like, move over to the east side, and everybody is like Polish and
short, dark hair.
German. They're all short, dark-haired, and Catholic. The religion is very different from one side to the other. It's really interesting.
Yeah, that was one thing I noticed when I had my last job at the bakery. We used to travel a lot for work, depending on where we got our equipment, our ingredients, or whatever. And when you travel to different countries, sometimes seeing how different everything is, it's like we live in such a small little bubble of a world where we are, and we
Yeah.
don't realize.
You don't realize.
It's
until
like
you
even
get
just
out.
driving from Maine to Michigan, the amount of time you spend driving and the distance you cover, if you look at how things change as you travel through, it's really crazy.
Well, that's like growing up on, like a lot of people, you grew up in the west side, you just stay in the west side of Michigan. It's way prettier, for one. The east side is not as pretty. But people don't even understand. We're
Well,
like,
I thought
it's
you
so
guys were
different
heading
over
me out to
here.
dueling banjos when we were coming out here. We kept driving and driving, and I'm like, we're going to be in Canada. They're dragging me somewhere. They're going to steal my splitter. I said, we're just going to be done. But
I'm curious what your version of country is.
yeah,
If
well,
you're like, this
I
is
live in the
Michigan.
country, but we traveled some distance out of the big city to
Well,
get
it's
here.
7 minutes
Yeah.
to this because it's already fallen.
Where I am, Bangor is probably our bigger city. There's, I don't know, it's 100,000 people or whatever, but it's only 10 minutes from me, and they consider us in the country. But we traveled 45 minutes outside of Detroit and
Yeah.
started running through nowhere for a while. And I was like, holy smokes, we're going.
Well, and we're not even like, my sister lives up in the UP, and that is very rural.
See, myself, I'd love to go more rural than what I am and get
This-
further away, but
this
my
is
wife not so
not.
much.
We are very metropolis here.
I want
Like,
to move up to my other property, and she's like, "Not."
listen, I got Little Caesars delivered here. That's a big deal.
Well,
I know this
we
is
just
ridiculous.
started
They
being able to
charge
get
me
like
extra.
DoorDash and stuff where we are now.
Yeah.
And that's like really cool because before nobody would deliver out there. Nobody
No
would
one
come
will
out there.
deliver here.
Good night, Foothills Firewood.
Yeah, see
We
you,
probably
Brett.
got to wrap it up soon too, because
Yeah.
the Lions are in a dogfight.
Yes, they're within one field goal of winning. Well,
Yeah.
of
Third
getting
quarter.
ahead. I
Yeah,
should
we
say,
need to
tying
rest
it
up because we got some wood to split. In the
Yeah,
morning,
well, I
too.
told Russ. No, Russ is getting a peek into my life because I figured I'm like, we're gonna get 10, 11, 12 videos done today. We each got 2.
No, everything that we started didn't go the way that
It
we
doesn't.
wanted
It
to.
never does. And then I told him, I said, don't worry. Tonight after dark, we'll be out getting everything prepped for tomorrow. Nope.
Nope.
We've been in here doing this,
This
getting
is
this set
literally-
up.
yeah.
This was.
I
But
just
luckily,
learned
Rachel
to
will
just
probably be
go.
up at about 6, probably out getting rounds ready.
Yeah,
getting-
after I fill the boiler up and get breakfast on the
Oh,
table for
yeah, I
these
know.
boys.
No, I got up this morning and
Well,
no
I've
breakfast.
got to make my homemade cinnamon rolls and go milk the cow for
We
the.
don't have a cow.
Oh,
That was the guy
Yeah,
that
I was getting excited for a minute. I was like, homemade cinnamon rolls, milk, and a cow.
It's probably that guy
Boy.
from the real estate picture. It's not a cow at all.
Right.
you gonna milk it?
No, you said you do.
I'm not milking that cow.
But yeah, so stay tuned for tomorrow. We're gonna have the videos of the musclewood. We're gonna actually get some wood put through it for a change. The birch was fun to run.
How many quarts
But
of
we've
oak
got to,
were split today?
James, we probably did a third of a cord,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah,
Not even, probably.
we
It
did-
was all about getting videos out before the live to get it going. Santa batch, that's nuts. So my buddy at work, his son actually was pretty highly recruited, played at U of M, and now plays in the NFL. And yeah, like the recruiting game, especially now with the NIL money, I think that's what it's a different.
Yeah.
And before that, it was the good athletes were still getting stuff they weren't supposed to, but now they get, it's just insane what they
Thanks
can
for
get.
rooting for
Like,
Detroit, Brad. I love
we
it.
follow UMaine hockey pretty close up where we are, and I think 10 out of the 12 starters on the 2 lines are going pro, and they're all making money already.
Oh yeah.
And it's, it's crazy because my wife, she has a clinic, and she asked one of them what they were going to do when they get out of college, and he just kind of looked at her and grinned. He said, "I'm going pro." And she's like, "Oh." She's like, "He sounded so positive that he was going." I said, "He's probably already got an agent. He's probably already got offers." I said, "It's just going to happen."
You see Ken telling you don't milk the ones with one spigot.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the roosters don't lay eggs, so now we're farmers.
Oh, now
Thanks,
Robert's
Jimbo. Good night.
not stopping by anymore. What? He's in Maine, isn't he?
Yep. Yeah, he's up in Maine.
He doesn't want shit shot of milk him, I guess. I mean, fair enough.
All
I
right.
just got a beer and I lost it.
Are you signing off?
I think so.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
All right, guys.
Thanks for tuning in. Check out Willie's Firewood. you obviously have checked out Hardworking Man.
Right.
We got videos on both channels coming. You're not going to want to miss.
Stay
Exciting,
tuned.
crazy, awesome stuff.
I get to be in these ones.
Right? Yeah,
They're
we've
gonna
been
let
waiting
me
for
be in the
Rachel.
videos tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll have
so.
some extra help tomorrow. That'll be nice.
All right, guys. Have
Okay.
a good
See you
night.
guys.
Bye.